One, the system informed Seonyong that his talent was the absolute rarest on the global ocean. Survival Game then loaded up his panel. He was just Seonyong, alone on a wooden boat. With one rusty hook and zero sailing experience, his talent was perfect shot. Every grappling hook throw in range was guaranteed to land. Weeks later, he pulled an incredible black-bladed sword, named Gyeong Kong, off the corpse of a drowned general. The loner with one rusty hook had become a hunter nobody would see coming. Drop a like on this and subscribe before we go deeper. The channel only grows with your support, but to understand his journey, we must see where he started. Let us go back. A cold, mechanical voice rings through his head while he is still half asleep, and by the time he makes sense of the words, he has already heard most of it. The voice welcomes him to the global ocean. Survival Game and explains this is a world of nothing but ocean. He will spend the rest of his life out here with survival as his sole goal. Children under 15 will be auto-assigned to one of their parents. The sea is full of fish and full of things that will make his blood run cold as boxes float past on the surface, meant to be snagged with a grappling hook for supplies. Keep moving forward, the voice commands. Do not let the black mist behind him catch up, because anyone who enters that mist dies. He gets a 3-day novice protection period where his ship will not capsize, will not be damaged, will not be attacked by creatures, and after that he is on his own. The voice explains he can silently chant the word system to open a virtual panel, then closes by wishing players an enjoyable game. He wakes the rest of the way, finding himself lying on a fishing boat, rising and falling with the swell. Salt spray hits his face and sharpens his mind into actual focus. He sits up and looks around. Only blue water stretches in every direction, with no other vessel anywhere in sight, so he murmurs the words global ocean survival game to himself and pinches his thigh hard to make sure of it. It hurts, which means this is absolutely no dream and no hallucination, and that in turn means the entire human race has been pulled into this ocean, exactly the way the voice described. He has read plenty of web novels to easily skip the denial phase and accept it on the spot. Before he can pull up the panel, another voice arrives in his head, telling him his soul matches the system and that he is being rewarded with a unique hidden talent called perfect shot. The grappling hooks he throws will always hit their target and never miss. A unique hidden talent, a golden finger from page 1. He knows exactly what that means from every novel he has ever read, but reality strikes almost immediately because the only item on the deck with him is a single grappling hook on its own. Talent like that does not look like much of a prize. He glances over the sea for boxes, sees none, and silently chants system. The panel snaps up in front of him with 5 sections: personal info, vessel info, communication channel, trading channel, and friends. He opens personal info first and the panel reads back to him his name, Seonyong, status healthy, strength 6 against an adult average of 10, spirit 8, agility 5, and constitution 6, below the adult average across the board, which tracks for someone whose only exercise in years has been scrolling, and his perfect shot talent does not show up anywhere in this. This hidden list means he has a massive advantage. If that is true, then he has one extra trump card over every other player on this ocean. He shuts the personal status panel and pulls up his boat information. It shows that Seonyong's vessel can be renamed. It is level 1 with 100 durability and 5 knots speed. No active facilities, no skills, and upgrade requirements are listed as 30 units of wood and 30 hemp ropes. These stats prove the starter boat is identical for everyone. What happens next depends entirely on him. He closes the menu and opens the chat channels. It splits into a local regional tab, allowing 10 daily messages and a massive world channel that restricts him to just one single post. That worldwide channel is currently locked. He taps into the local area chat and a tidal wave of panic-filled messages floods his screen instantly. Hundreds of posts fly by every single second. Most people are just losing their minds, crying about being dumped in the middle of a vast ocean. Others demand answers about who planned this crazy prank. One guy claims he is the chosen main character. A kid panics because he cannot swim and begs for someone to rescue him, while a confused couple got dragged straight out of their hotel room. The chat is just a massive wall of noise, terror, and absolutely zero useful details. Seonyong immediately shuts it. The market tab is completely barren, which makes sense since no one has gathered any real loot yet. The social tab is completely useless. So he dismisses the entire window. He looks out across the endless blue horizon. The grim reality that the entire human race has been stranded here is undeniable. Right now, the absolute top priority is simply finding a way to survive. Fortunately, Seonyong was a complete loner before this. No real ties, nothing to lose. To make it through the night, he needs resources, and currently the sole source. For supplies is floating boxes. He reaches down and grabs his grappling hook. It is a rusty piece of iron tied to roughly 5 meters of plain hemp rope. As soon as his fingers wrap around it, an item description panel materializes, labeling it a common quality grappling hook, perfect for catching floating cargo. That common label means far better gear exists somewhere in this world. This cheap starter tool is not flashy, but it will do the job. It is just enough to snare a chest and drag it aboard. Seonyong inspects his wooden vessel, which measures about 4 meters long and just 1 meter wide. It has a pointed bow, flat deck, no shelter, and a simple helm steering wheel. Even as he stands completely still, the boat drifts forward steadily. Clearly, the ship does not require manual rowing. He just needs to steer. He walks over to the helm and grips the wheel. In under a minute, he gets the basic controls down. He quickly learns how to turn, adjust speed, and bring the boat to a stop. Having zero prior sailing experience, he expected a massive struggle, but the system has made piloting incredibly simple. Suddenly, a small brown object appears in the distance. Squinting, he confirms it is a floating wooden crate. Time to test his skills. He grabs the rope in one hand and this heavy iron hook in the other. Giving it a quick swing, he tosses it. The metal hook lands way short. It seems his passive skills will not help him bypass the rope's physical length limit. That makes complete sense. He lets the vessel drift closer, closing the gap slowly. Once the box is within 5 meters, he takes aim and launches the hook again. The hook actually shifts course in midair and lands cleanly on target. With the tip biting in deep, he hauls the heavy wooden chest right aboard. He quickly pries open the 60-centimeter wooden container before it completely vanishes from sight. A few items drop onto the deck beneath a floating system screen. Congratulations, you have obtained 2 units of wood and 1 hemp rope. These materials are the upgrade currency, and 30 of each is not a brutal target. 3 days should be plenty of time. He scans the sea, finding absolutely nothing. Bored, he pulls up the regional chat channel, which has mostly settled down. While the crying continues, some actual, useful information is finally starting to emerge. People are complaining that chests are too hard to hook. Both the chest and the boat keep moving, making hooks splash into empty water. Most fail repeatedly, but one guy proudly announces he finally snagged a chest. He pulled out 2 bottles of fresh water and a piece of bread. Immediately, another player snaps at him to stop bragging because he is dying of thirst. The takeaway is obvious: the standard hook hit rate is terribly low. Those who succeed do so by pure luck, with the chest drifting straight to them. In that case, his perfect shot talent is a serious, game-changing advantage. He is finally realizing the sheer value of what he has been given, but it cannot buy him water. Looking up, the sun hangs high and brutal, baking the endless sea all around his raft. The temperature is easily 30 degrees Celsius, a level of heat that drains human bodies fast. He will dehydrate quickly, and without a reliable source of drinking water, it will be fatal. Fresh water only comes from supply chests, which are incredibly difficult for others to hook. Even with his talent, there is no guarantee water is inside. He licks his dry lips. Staring back at the water, a sudden system announcement blares directly inside his mind. It notes that they have finally accepted reality, urging them to work hard to survive. The deadly black mist currently moves at 5 knots, but that speed is about to change. In 3 days, it accelerates to 10 knots, and protection ends, meaning boats can be destroyed. Losing your boat means death, unless another player takes you aboard. However, joining someone else immediately demotes your status from captain to a mere crew member. Any crew members attempting to betray or attack their captain will be instantly obliterated. Nighttime wakes the terrors of the deep, which will actively hunt boats after 3 days. With only 3 days to upgrade and grow stronger, the pressure is officially on. Complaining and cursing the system is just slow suicide, the cold voice warns them. It wishes them a pleasant game and signs off, leaving the channel to erupt. The chat erupts with furious cursing, and he sneers because survival at sea is brutal. With things this incredibly dangerous and difficult, who is honestly supposed to be enjoying themselves? If the system does not deserve the blame, who does? Yet the system is right. Cursing is just wasted time, and he is definitely not in the business of wasting time. A sharp cry echoes from somewhere above. When he looks up, he spots a bird. It is much larger than a normal seagull, with claws and beak glinting in the sun. He stares at the creature, just long enough for the system to analyze its details. Black spirit gull, common seabird, highly aggressive, often attacking people at sea. The dangerous black spirit gull keeps circling, tracking his every movement. Its eyes track him, sizing him up like a tasty meal on an open platter. If not for the active novice protection period, it would have already swooped down. It seems the dangers of this ocean live above the water too, not just under it. The black spirit gull does not leave, keeping up its provocative dives over his head, and he is honestly a little annoyed at being mocked by a seabird. Then he looks at the grappling hook in his hand, and an idea lands. The black spirit gull has not clocked the danger and keeps circling. He waits quietly. The next time it dives skimming low over his head, he throws, and the grappling hook flies. The bird notices in time, an expression that looks almost human and mocking flickers across its face, and it twists in midair to change direction. The rusty iron hook drives deep into its body anyway, and the bird loses its balance instantly and plummets, shrieking, flapping desperately to climb back up. But it only sheds a few feathers and a spray of blood. Under his pull, it keeps falling. It slams hard onto the deck. The thing refuses to accept it is dying and thrashes harder, so he drops to one knee and pins it down. The blood pool on the boat widens until the bird finally stops moving. The system congratulates him on 5 portions of black spirit gull meat and 1 portion of black spirit gull blood. The corpse vanishes. The meat and blood appear in its place. Since he has nothing to hold liquid, the blood spreads across the deck. Then on top of that, a chest. The black spirit gull actually dropped a chest, and this one is not wood, it is bronze. Killing seabirds drops chests. Whether it is coincidence or a set rule, he cannot tell yet, and the bronze means there are multiple grades, so there must be tiers above bronze too. None of which he can resolve sitting here, so he rubs his hands and cracks the chest open. The system congratulates him on 1 desalination machine blueprint, 1 lighter, and 1 iron axe. A desalination machine blueprint out. Here, fresh water is the most valuable thing there is. Nobody is thirsty. Yet only because this all started a few hours ago, but the minute thirst really hits, fresh water turns into hard currency, and with this blueprint he can make his own. But get this, as soon as he reads the description, his excitement completely vanishes because the desalination machine blueprint converts seawater into drinking water. It requires 20 plastic, 10 glass, 10 metal sheets, and all blueprints must be used. On a crafting table, he glances at his boat, and there is no such thing on a level 1 vessel. The blueprint is real, but he just cannot build the machine yet. It is the most anticlimactic feeling possible. The other 2 are more immediately useful. The lighter is common quality, a reliable fire-starting device, and at least it means he can cook. The iron axe is good quality, perfect for logging or self-defense with a sharp blade and high damage. He picks the axe up, grinning at the solid weight right in his hand. The edge looking freshly sharpened, he swings it once to get the feel. The lighter is only common, but with it he will not have to risk diarrhea from raw food, which in this environment would put him halfway in the grave on its own. He checks the black spirit gull's drops. The meat is common quality, firm texture, excellent taste, and the blood is common quality, pungent and fishy, drinkable but highly likely to cause vomiting and diarrhea. So the meat will keep him fed, and the blood he will never touch unless he is 1 breath from death. Even standing here, he can smell how foul it is. He is just thinking he's about to dump the puddle of bird blood overboard when another chest floats by. Forget the blood, he grabs his grappling hook and steers closer to close the gap. Closing the gap to 5 meters, he throws, hooks it cleanly, and hauls it up. It is a wooden chest, lower tier than the bronze, but beggars can't be choosers. He cracks it open, and the system alerts him to some fresh mineral water. He gets 2 500 milliliter bottles and some wood. It is not a lot. But rationed properly, this water will last him 2 days, with more on the way. Now that his thirst is sorted, he cannot stand the stench of the bird blood. He squats down, scoops up the crimson puddle, hurls it overboard, then dunks his hands. He washes them clean, grumbling at the stench and swearing he will never drink it. He's just glad he doesn't have to, but as he rinses, the water changes. The water where he dumped the blood begins to churn, and a fish leaps out. He freezes. Suddenly, the math clicks. This beast's unique gold blood is attracting them. Sharks famously love blood, but this magical creature's blood is way more pungent. It is far stronger than anything normal, and the local fish are going wild. He kills the engine, backing up to keep the bloody spot within 5 meters. He grabs his trusty grappling hook. The earlier kill proved a very useful loophole. These ocean beasts won't attack him, but he can absolutely attack them. If he can take down a giant bird, he can definitely hunt these fish. Zero risk of getting hit back. It is basically a free buffet out here. It is a shame this protection only lasts 3 days. He aims and throws. He hooks one. It is a common blue sea fish, an aggressive schooler. This type absolutely loves blood. The creature flops wildly on the wooden deck. Since it cannot escape, he pries it loose and throws again, catch after catch. He keeps going until the red stain completely fades away. 15 fish lie ready. The smallest ones are tiny, but the bigger catches are quite impressive. Some are 60 or 70 centimeters, and the biggest is a massive cloud pattern grouper. He estimates this monster weighs roughly 25 pounds. It almost dragged him in. Only by wrapping the rope around the wheel and hitting the throttle did he win. Now he has fire, wood, food, and water. Not bad for his first day, right? Crisis solved, but 15 fish is way too much food for one guy. The weather is scorching hot, there's no fridge, and everything will rot in 2 days. Throwing them back to fish more won't help, but then he spots a dark dot. High in the sky, a lone seabird is circling. Instantly, a brilliant plan forms in his mind. He lays the freshly caught fish flat across the deck to bake in the sun. Using some hemp rope, he ties that massive 25-pound grouper to the bow. He secures the other end to the steering wheel and looks up at his bait. The system said creatures wouldn't attack players or boats during this period. But it never said players couldn't actively hunt them. Now he waits. No luck, the bird doesn't seem to care about the fish at all. It just keeps hovering high in the clouds, completely ignoring the feast below. Tired of waiting, his eyes wander back to the sea, where another chest drifts. A chest won't wait around, so he steers toward it, forgetting about the bird. He throws, hooks it cleanly, and starts pulling the wooden box up the hull. He pulls it up. Suddenly, a massive shadow rushes him from the side. He unhooks the grappling hook on instinct, spinning to launch. A solid hit. A sharp shriek echoes. He realizes he has snagged a familiar threat. Another black spirit gull. It tries to fly off, but he holds the rope tight. Dragging it down, he grabs his axe and ends it with a single swing. The system alerts him that he got 6 pieces of bird meat and some blood. The carcass dissolves instantly, just a neat pile of resources left behind. As a nasty odor drifts across the deck, he cannot help but smirk. The creature was smart enough to strike while he was busy, but then a realization strikes. He left his main target out there. The chest is still floating in the water. Seeing it float away, he quickly fires up the boat and closes the distance. He hooks the container again and pulls it aboard. Promptly, the system chimes. He scores 2 pieces of wood, some hemp rope, and a single sheet of glass. While not a basic upgrade item, glass is absolutely essential for his water filter. After sorting the loot, he notices this black spirit gull did not drop a chest. Apparently, killing these birds does not guarantee a chest, which is likely true for all creatures. That is definitely useful information to keep in mind. Pushing the thought aside, he moves on. He scoops up the fresh gull blood, pours it into the ocean, and parks the boat. Sure enough, the fish-attracting power of this black spirit gull blood is incredibly potent. It beats any standard lure. The water begins to churn as fish swarm right below him. Seeing this, he casts his hook. It is time to fish. Soon, the blood begins to fade. By the time the black spirit gull blood dilutes, he has caught 8 more fish. It is a smaller haul than before, but they are heavier, and one looks completely different. A phantom octofish, a rare deep-sea creature, fast and hard to catch. It is delicious, and every pound consumed grants 1 point to a basic attribute. A fish that actually raises basic attributes, but this one is quite small. It weighs only about 2.5 pounds, which grants him exactly 2 attribute points. That is assuming he eats the whole thing, but the surprises do not stop there. After the creature dies, a treasure chest materializes nearby, only a simple wooden one. The system rewards him with some wood, hemp rope, and a piece of metal scrap. It seems killing sea fish can also drop chests. His luck is definitely on the rise. He scans the horizon, no birds around and no chests floating. he drops onto the deck. Time to prep the catch. He bleeds them with his axe and guts them. Then he ties them with hemp rope to soak in the salt water to firm up. While they soak, he chops a block of wood into smaller pieces using his axe. He sparks them with a lighter, setting up wood supports on both sides of the flame. Just like that, he has a makeshift grill. Luckily, the boat cannot burn yet. The system blocks fires for the first 3 days, otherwise this would be highly dangerous. With the prep done, he takes the salted fish out to begin the smoking process. He smokes several, grills some directly, and dries the rest for storage. A few are kept aside as bird bait. Piling up rations is key. With that finished, he places the phantom octofish on the rack to roast it whole. He will not sell this rare prize. This feast is entirely for him. The first bite is incredibly rich. Even with simple salt, the flavor is amazing. He devours the entire fish in a single sitting, and the system chimes in. He gains 2 points of strength. Checking his profile, his stats are climbing. His stats rise from 6 to 8, still below average, but a huge leap from his starting point. After grabbing a bite, he stands up and spots another chest drifting in clothes. This one is bronze. With his growing experience and talent, salvaging it is a breeze. The system drops a reward, 1 fertile black soil and 5 hemp ropes. Along with 3 bottles of mineral water, the description for the soil looks incredible. It is nutrient-rich soil that speeds up plant growth, absolutely precious. He cannot use it just yet, but the value is obvious. Suddenly, a sound cuts through. That familiar cry echoes again. Another black spirit gull circles above, and he just smiles. 15 minutes later, the hungry bird finally dives down, baited by the fish. It swoops in hard, but fails to grab anything before meeting his sharp axe. He harvests 4 portions of meat and 1 portion of blood, swift and clean. No chest drops from these birds are painfully rare. He has killed over 20 fish by now, with only a single chest to show. Rates are brutal. He dumps the bird blood back into the water to bait more. 10 minutes later, 11 more fish are flopping on the deck. No rare ones this time. He just gets to work processing them all. Before sunset, he slays 2 more birds, catches 18 fish, and hooks 2 wooden chests. Nothing else yields a chest, but his total haul for the day is massive. By dusk, he has accumulated 9 units of wood and 10 hemp ropes, along with 24 portions of meat and a watermaker blueprint, plus a lighter and axe, 6 waters, 2 glass, and a metal sheet. Add in the fertile black soil and 52 fish. He has no clue how others compare. But he is willing to bet his stash is easily near the top. Still, his wood and hemp are lacking. The next upgrade requires 30 of each. If his efficiency does not double over the next 2 days, he is done. No level 2 boat. Meanwhile, the system warnings keep ticking down. 3 days of protection, that is all. What follows is going to be brutal. Only upgrading his boat to level 2 gives him a fighting chance to survive. Without that upgrade, his survival outside the safe zone looks incredibly grim. And he won't be alone in this struggle. Even with his perfect shot, he's struggling. If he is running short on materials, then everyone else is absolutely doomed. Sure enough, the global chat is filled with endless wailing when he opens it. Players complain that chests rarely spawn, and the few they see are impossible to hook. They demand explanations from the system. Others are heartbroken watching valuable bronze chests float past. Some are completely shocked to find out that bronze chests even exist. Most only manage 2 pieces of wood and 3 ropes for the entire day. Some beg for food, offering their precious fresh water just for a bite. The morning panic has faded, replaced by quiet desperation. The main topic has shifted from pure confusion to desperate begging. He opens the trade market, greeted by a massive list of desperate orders. Nearly everyone is begging for food and water, offering random items in return. The offers are wildly uneven. A smirk crosses his face. He is sitting on a gold mine. He has mountains of fish and seabird meat. He prepares to send his very first message. He posts a massive listing of grilled, dried, and smoked fish. Along with fresh bird meat, this is going to trigger a bidding war. Quantities are limited, first come, first served. His post drops like a bomb. The trading channel instantly goes wild. People cannot believe he actually has grilled fish. Others are offering to become his loyal lackey for a single piece of food. Some even offer video calls for a bite. It is pure desperation out there. With everyone starving, dropping a massive food supply online was bound to trigger chaos. His inbox explodes immediately. Direct messages flood in from every direction. He sets the price for 1 grilled fish at 5 wood or 5 hemp rope. Smoked fish goes for 3 wood or 3 hemp rope, but even at that rate, very few can actually afford it, so desperate buyers try to bargain. He filters out the incoming threats, insults, and freeloaders begging for scraps. He ignores the noise and focuses only on serious trade offers. One person offers 3 pieces of scrap metal for a fish. Another offers 5 potatoes. Someone else bids 3 pieces of glass. Honestly, he never expected food to be this highly valued. Talk about a goldmine. But of course, half the players are starving, and barely anyone has food. Supply and demand are doing the heavy lifting here. Anything tradable works. Food is incredibly valuable early on. Once everyone starts farming, his market collapses. So he needs to move his inventory right now. He starts processing deals. He replies to every real offer. 3 metal scraps for a fish. Accepted 5 potatoes. Sold 3 glass pieces for a smoked fish. Done deal. Nobody actually knows what anything is worth yet, including him. So he simply keeps trying to keep the trades moving along smoothly. Survival in the early game is all about securing your footing immediately. Staying one step ahead keeps you alive. By nightfall, he has gathered 10 units of wood, 7 hemp ropes, 7 glass, 5 plastics, and 5 potatoes. It is all basic materials. Either players do not have rare items yet, or they refuse to part with them, leaving some of his catch unsold. But the market has died down for the night. Still, he secured the wood and rope needed to upgrade his boat to level 2 by tomorrow. He shuts down the trade channel and lays flat on the hard deck. Gentle water laps against the hull. In minutes, he drifts off to sleep. Morning arrives, and his body aches all over from sleeping on raw wood. But as he stretches out, a floating chest in the distance catches his eye. The pain instantly vanishes. He reaches down and grabs his grappling hook. He locks his eyes on the target, lets it drift close, then throws. Secured, the system grants him 1 piece of wood and 2 stones. Stone is a brand new resource. Everything from these chests will be useful eventually. He tucks them away, relieved that the stones are not heavy enough to sink his small raft. Barely 5 minutes later, another chest floats by. Inside, the system rewards him with 1 stone and 2 portions of sugar. Sugar is a fascinating reward. His luck today is turning out to be absolutely stellar. Then a sharp cry rings out from the sky above him. It is a black spirit gull, but this giant is twice the usual size. Its massive wings generate a heavy pressure, yet, despite its scary size, it is still just a bird, and novice protection is still active today. The system still has him covered. He spreads the leftover fish across the deck and waits. This bird is bolder, diving almost immediately. He throws the hook. The moment it dives, the iron hook lands. The bird shrieks, beating its wings trying to climb. It is stronger than the others. He is not braced for it. His feet skid out, slamming him flat on the deck. This beast is strong. He ties the rope to the rudder as a brace. The hemp rope holds, and the boat itself cannot capsize today. That means the bird's escape attempt is completely doomed. The iron hook inside bleeds its vitality out in under a minute. It drops onto the deck. The system congratulates him on 10 portions of black spirit gold meat, 2 portions of black spirit gold blood, and 10 black spirit gold feathers. And this haul is significantly fatter than the previous birds, feathers included. And this kill actually drops a chest, but it is not wood or bronze. Get ready. It is silver. Above bronze, the grades keep going. He opens the silver chest, almost reluctant to break the tension. The system congratulates him on 1 refrigerator blueprint, 5 electronic components, 3 alloy, and 1 boat skill book. A silver chest exactly as rich as it should be. The refrigerator blueprint is massive for food preservation, keeping his meals from spoiling in the heat, but he cannot use it yet. Even with crafting, he has no electricity. The electronic components and alloy are high-tier materials that will surely pay off. Later, what is immediately useful is the boat skill book, Gale, which raises the boat speed by 50% for 30 minutes with a 1-day cooldown. He learns it without hesitation. He is about to pour the new black spirit gold blood into the sea to start fishing when something bumps the side of the boat. A wooden chest has drifted right to him. He takes a second to register before picking it up. The system congratulates him on 2 instant noodles and 1 hemp rope. 3 chests in this short window is suspicious. He opens the chat channel and, sure enough, half the channel is talking about it. People are realizing the chest spawn rate has jumped. They are comparing yesterday's 3-chest haul to today's. 2.5 an hour, with players complaining that chests are easier to see now, but still impossible to hook. The consensus is that almost everything coming out of the chests is basic materials. No water, no luxuries. This is not luck. It is a system boost. The system probably worries that nobody will upgrade in time. Either way, it is great news, but here is the catch with this boost. More supplies for everyone equally, since other players do not have his perfect aim. By his calculations, chests drift with the current, but they also bob, and the higher the grade, the faster and more violently they bob. Other players simply cannot catch every single chest the way he can. He closes the channel and gets to work processing fish while watching the water for chests. He lists everything he is not eating on the trading channel. This probability boost means most players are pulling upgrade materials instead of food or water. His fish keeps selling. The system pings notifications. He sold 1 grilled fish for 5 wood, sold 1 smoked fish for 3 hemp ropes, with everyone growing hungrier on day 2. Business is booming. By mid-morning, the materials for his boat upgrade are finally ready. 30 wood and 30 hemp rope, all gathered. With zero hesitation, he opens vessel info and selects the upgrade. A blinding golden light completely swallows the boat. He shuts his eyes by reflex. When he opens them again, the boat has completely changed. The old 4x1 wooden boat is gone. In its place sits a new vessel. It spans 15 meters long and 3 meters wide, featuring a sturdy wooden cabin at the stern. The rudder has relocated from the bow to inside that newly added wheelhouse. With no other changes, he ducks inside. It is 3 meters by 2. Just enough for a bed, meaning he no longer sleeps out in the open. He finally has proper shelter, though he still lacks the actual bed. Opening the ship screen, he sees it can be renamed at level 2. Durability is 500, speed is 10 knots, no facilities exist yet. His ship skill is Gale. Next tier upgrades require quite a few materials. Specifically, he needs 100 wood, 80 hemp rope, and 60 metal scrap. This current upgrade boosted his speed, durability, and unlocked 3 buildable structures. Building a crafting table requires 5 wood and 5 metal scrap. Meanwhile, the storage box needs 5 wood and 3 hemp rope to delay food spoilage. Lastly, the mast requires 10 wood, 3 metal scrap, and 5 hemp rope. Without the table, he cannot desalinate water, which is extremely profitable right now. Even more than his fish. Currently, he has 3 wood and 4 scrap, almost there. Wood is currently cheap on the market, but metal scrap is quite scarce. Since he is still missing many materials for the desalination machine itself, there is absolutely no massive rush to get the crafting table set up just yet. Walking back outside, he scans the open sea. Seeing nothing new, he prepares to list his latest batch of Black Spirit Gold meat on the trading channel. He stops. The item panel reads back some surprisingly high-quality stats. Consuming 5 portions of this meat will grant 1 basic attribute point. It raises basic stats. Talk about a close call, he almost sold it. That makes sense because the massive Black Spirit Gull was a high-grade bird. That explains the quality. He quickly gets 10 portions onto the fire to roast. Food that boosts his stats must be consumed, not sold, as it cooks. Another wooden chest drifts into range. He hooks it and receives 2 wood and 1 metal scrap. This brings his resources to the exact amount required. He opens the vessel menu and selects the crafting table option. When the system asks for a location, he chooses the sheltered wheelhouse. After confirmation, a console appears right next to the rudder. Various tools are laid out on top. He taps it, opening a virtual list. He can craft a bed, tables, chairs, water cups, and other basic goods. More complex items require a blueprint. The system soon detects his 2 crafting blueprints and asks if he wants to learn them. He agrees. The desalination and refrigerator blueprints dissolve right beside him. Now 2 extremely useful new recipes appear on his crafting list. He heads back to the deck where the grilled meat is almost done. The flavor is quite light, seasoned only by the salty seawater. Still, this is no moment to be picky. Just having food to eat is a massive win. Plus, this meat raises his basic attributes, since the portions are large. Eating 2 or 3 at one sitting is his limit. He wants a storage box next. The refrigerator must wait since there is no electricity anyway. It is just furniture, but this storage box at least slows down spoilage a bit. It is nothing like a real refrigerator. He packs the remaining meat away and grabs the new item. He takes the black spirit gold blood from that giant bird. Lesson learned. He checks the details first. This black spirit gold blood is high quality. It has a fatal allure to sea fish. It is drinkable but highly likely to cause fever and severe diarrhea. He must drink with caution. This batch is definitely a step above the ordinary kind. He slings it into the sea and the water boils within seconds. It is far more violent now, like something is heating it from below. He casts the hook without waiting. A fish is hauled up, tossed aside, then he casts again. The high-quality blood holds its pull longer, so he keeps going. When it finally dilutes, 18 fish sit on the deck. No chest drops, but he keeps going and slings the second handful of blood in. The water reacts and he casts. Things are about to get wild. The moment the hook drops in, he feels a catch, then a massive force yanks back through the rope, way beyond what he had braced for. The rope yanks him flat onto the deck before he can react, before he can even sit up. Another surge hits and he slides across the boards. His head cracks against the wheelhouse wall at the stern, making his world spin, but he holds the rope. This is his only tool for getting supplies, and he cannot let go. The fish is too strong. Either he lets go or the rope snaps, and either way he loses the grappling hook. He drags himself up, ties the rope to the helm, and yanks open the trading channel. He burns 1 bottle of mineral water to buy 2 pieces of wood and 1 metal sheet. Normally, that trade would absolutely gut him. Fresh water is the real hard currency right now, so trading it for wood and metal is a total loss, but this is an emergency. He buys the materials and opens the crafting table to select the spear. The info reads common quality. Simple wooden and metal weapon with modest lethality. Do not get your hopes up. And a 2-meter spear appears in his hand, like a basic stone or iron axe. The spear needs no blueprint, just a crafting table and basic materials. With the spear in hand, he feels slightly more confident. He carries it to the side of the boat. The hooked fish is nearly a meter long, with the iron hook buried deep inside. The water around it turns red, and he drives the spear down without hesitation, but only part way in. He makes sure not to lose the spear if it thrashes. Pull out, drive in, pull out, drive in. The fish's resistance finally fades. Once its breathing slows down to a crawl, he drives the spear in for real. The spearhead sinks deep, and he drags it onto the boat with his last bit of strength. It flops on the deck, splashing blood and sea water everywhere, but he does not care. He just sits and watches the movement slow down until it stops. The system awards him 20 portions of sword spirit fish meat. The body decomposes, and right beside it, a chest appears, a bronze chest. Finally, another chest, and he is awarded 3 bottles of 500 milliliter iced cola, 3 electronic components, and a planting box. No blueprint, which stings a bit, but ice cold cola in this blazing heat. Who could refuse that on a hot afternoon? He picks up 1 bottle. It is still misting cold air like it came straight from a freezer, the chill biting into his hands. He holds the cold bottle, making the heat feel less brutal, and licks his dry lips. He actually wants to crack one open, but he holds back. It is just too valuable. On the open market, iced cola is worth more than fresh water, and drinking it would be completely wasteful. Once he gets a refrigerator, he promises to drink one every single day. He opens the global chat channel and announces he has 3 cold bottles of iced cola available. He tells them to private message him if interested. No open listing. Selling them publicly would underprice them, and he does not have a set price anyway, so he lets the buyers bid. Honestly, the response is complete madness. Comments pile up. Instantly, one person is crying about the heat, while another claims to be an internet celebrity named Yuchchan Chin, offering a friends list spot for 1 bottle. Someone else weeps because they lack basic mineral water and accuses him of paying to win. Others offer to become his loyal lackey forever. His inbox hits 99 plus instantly. Talk about a popular product. He filters the noise, keeping only the serious offers. Some propose 10 wood for 1 bottle, 5 metal, and 3 glass, or even 20 wood. Everyone is simply guessing at the price. The gap between bids is massive. What grabs his attention, however, is not the basic material bids. He wants the unique offers that come with something special. The first he messages back is the one offering an iron pot crafting blueprint, asking them to send the blueprint over. The reply comes instantly. This iron pot blueprint requires 3 metal scrap to make. He asks why they want to sell it, and they explain they just got it from a bronze chest. They originally planned to keep it, but iced Cola was their absolute favorite drink before transmigration. During summer, they drank at least. One a day, hearing this, he almost asks if they are worried about getting diabetes. But a deal is a deal. He trades away one bottle of iced cola for an iron pot. Blueprint, the buyer happily signs off with a positive review, calling the soda happy water. The second promising contact is a player offering Chinese cabbage seeds. They confirm they have some. The system shows they possess 5 portions, but they want to keep 3, offering only 2. Seeds are completely useless to most people right now, but crucial later, so parting with even 2 is a major decision. However, 2 is not enough. He pushes for 4, causing them to balk. He argues that iced cola is a hot commodity, and his inbox is absolutely exploding. If they do not trade, he will find better offers elsewhere. Besides, in the late game, seeds will become common, making their 2 cabbage seeds worth almost nothing. They go completely silent. Just when he thinks they backed out, they return. With 3, no more, take it or leave it. Deal. He loses a second bottle but gains 3 portions of Chinese cabbage seeds. Checking them, the system panel reads, Chinese cabbage seeds, common quality, plantable in soil. The growth cycle is 10 days under the game world rules, which is heavily collapsed compared to real life. He puts them away and continues searching for blueprints and seeds first. Those have the highest long-term payoff, but supply is tiny, and the people holding them rarely want to part with them, since most offers are just basic materials. It seems the final bottle of iced cola will go toward basic supplies. The drink's value depends entirely on being freezing cold. Once it warms up, the price drops by half. He has no refrigerator. The day is boiling hot, and if he does not sell this bottle soon, it becomes ordinary warm cola, still sellable but far less valuable. Popular just as he is about to trade his last bottle for basic supplies, a new private message catches his eye, and his breathing accelerates the moment he reads it. The seller offers an excellent quality item for 2 bottles of iced cola plus 10 pieces of wood, along with its details. The Rui telescopic rope, excellent quality, a hemp rope made of special materials, only usable on a grappling hook, length adjustable up to 200 meters. It will never break. A grappling rope that can extend and retract at will and never snap. This is a divine artifact for someone with his perfect shot. He has hidden limits on his talent, his strength, and his rope length. The system-issued rope is about 5 meters. No matter how heaven-defying his talent is, he cannot hook anything past that range. He already verified that fact. Keep the distance inside 5 meters, or it will not trigger. With the Rui telescopic rope, everything changes completely. He could hook items dozens of meters away, maybe 100, as long as his strength holds. Catching seabirds and sea fish gets easier by orders of magnitude, and with this rope, his grappling hook undergoes an earth-shattering upgrade. His talent growing along with it, he must get this rope. He opens the negotiation, saying he wants it, but argues the price is too high. They push back, saying it is excellent quality. Very few excellent items exist in the whole world right now. That part is not a lie, because he has cracked plenty of chests, even a silver one, and still has not pulled a single excellent item. So he switches tactics. He argues the rope is a white elephant. 5 meters is enough for almost everyone. Beyond that, nobody can throw accurately. Plenty of people cannot even hook a wooden chest with the standard 5-meter rope, so what is the point of a longer one? He is not letting them see how desperately he wants it. Watch closely. This negotiation has to be perfect. They counter with longer means more chances per throw. He counters that a longer rope takes longer to retract. They ask if he is saying the rope is completely useless, and he tells them not completely useless, just a white elephant, not even as good as many good quality items. They challenge him to give a price, having already half agreed. It is a white elephant, so he offers 1 bottle of iced cola. Too little, they say, but he argues normal cola is rare, and iced cola is even rarer. He just traded 2 bottles for 2 blueprints, and this rope is not worth more than a blueprint. They counter, asking for more. He offers to add 2 hemp ropes. They want 4. He says 3. Final offer. His private messages are blowing up. Deal. 3 hemp ropes plus 1 bottle of iced cola. The rope appears in his hand, and he absolutely cannot hide his grin. His face. The system asks whether he wants to replace his lower-grade grappling rope. He accepts, and the grappling hook at his feet changes. The iron hook stays. The refined grappling rope now. He touches it. The texture is excellent, not slick and not abrasive, infinitely better than the hemp. He looks back at The discarded rope, the middle is damaged, fibers shredded with only a few thin strands holding it together, because that massive fish from earlier nearly broke. For good, he figures he is the only person on the sea using a grappling hook. To catch fish, it is lucky he got the Rui telescopic rope when he did, otherwise. Hooking chests later would have been rough. He tosses the damaged hemp away. The grappling hook info now reads, excellent quality telescopic rope up to 200 meters and will never break. This new rope bumped his whole hook from common to excellent. A chest drifts in about 30 meters out, perfect timing for a test. He grips the rope, swings the hook, and throws with everything he has. The iron hook flies, feeding out rapidly from its starting 5 meters. It never touches the water. The chest is simply too far, and the throw starts going wide. A normal grappling hook would have failed here, but his perfect shot skill kicks in. The hook suddenly diverts midair, banking straight toward the chest and dropping onto it. With a clean smack, with the hook secured, he retracts the line. The rope shortens from 30 meters back to 5, and he pulls the rest in by hand, the Rugi telescopic. Rope works perfectly in a 5 to 200 meter window. This chest grants 2 pieces of wood, 1 hemp rope, and a single glass. Now he looks at the sword. Spirit fish meat, the creature that nearly broke his rope and bruised his head. The meat he had high hopes for, but the description instantly kills his excitement. Sword spirit fish. Meat is common quality, bony, sour, and only good for fishing bait. It is disappointing because this sword spirit fish was easily the largest sea fish he has hooked so far. It fought with surprising strength, making him would have better quality meat. Instead, he got useless flesh he cannot eat or sell. The carcass would be a complete waste if not for that bronze chest. He looks on the bright side. A common sea fish dropping a bronze chest is still a massive win. The bony sword spirit fish meat will serve as bait for seabirds. Currently, the sky is completely clear. So he decides to plant his Chinese cabbage. He previously told the seller that almost nobody can grow these cabbage seeds right now, which is completely true. Because most survivors are still struggling to find water. Talk about being ahead of the game. He already has a proper planting box and some fertile black soil from earlier chests. This gives him the complete kit. The planting box itself is of common quality, built for farming on the sea, though it has weak temperature and humidity controls. However, the fertile black soil is of good quality. The box is a wooden crate measuring 2 meters long, 1 meter wide, and 50 centimeters deep. With small bottom gaps for drainage and air, he carefully spreads the soil. Across the bottom, exactly 1 portion of fertile dirt, just enough to cover 1 box. Next, he plants the seeds. 1 box is exactly enough for 1 portion of seeds. These neat proportions are definitely the system's doing. He puts the remaining 2 portions of seeds away, throws some grilled fish onto the fire, and scans the water for chests while keeping an eye out for seabirds. He lists the fish on the trading channel, but with more items appearing every hour. His grilled fish is no longer a standout. Its popularity remains pretty average, though occasional sales still trickle in. He knows this easy run won't last forever. As more chests spawn, other survivors will soon upgrade to level 2 rafts. Once they do, they can build crafting tables and make tools without needing blueprints. That includes fishing rods. Out here, fishing is the obvious choice. It passes the time, provides food, drops chests, and once the market fills with eager anglers, fish prices will crash, and his trading competition will skyrocket. So he sells now, accepting lower prices because making some profit is better than nothing. By nightfall, he is sitting cross-legged inside the cozy wheelhouse, eating some grilled, high-quality black spirit gold meat while watching the chat scroll by. The trading channel is always busier at night. During the day, because everyone is constantly scanning the water for chests, but at night, visibility drops and finding chests is almost impossible unless someone bumps their boat, so almost nobody is scavenging and everyone is just chatting. In this world with zero other entertainment, the chat screen has become everyone's main hobby. The channel rolls past. Someone proudly counts 3 chests for the day. Someone else tops them with 5. Someone is furious they cannot hook a single chest despite throwing constantly. Someone tells them to just practice. Someone begs for food because they have not eaten in 2 days and gets roasted for being a freeloader. Someone warns about a grappling hook lost overboard on day 1, earning just 2 seconds of channel pity. A lunar new year jab about not even passing a college entrance exam flashes by. Then somebody brags that their ship is almost ready to upgrade. Somebody else is only 5 Wood short, someone warns that the protection period ends in a single day and predicts that non-upgraded boats will get eliminated. Somebody calls that pure paranoia. Another snaps that calling this a game at this point is delusional. Then a self-declared alliance starts recruiting members. A follow-up asks how many members are already in. The recruiter admits it is just himself. Then someone flexes a photo of a desert eagle, a gun already, and the channel totally loses its mind. +1 + 10,000. Human adaptability really is something because 2 days ago, this entire channel was talking about houses, cars, and stocks, and now almost everyone is talking about chests, resources, ship upgrades, and pure survival. The shift has been remarkably fast, and he has made the exact same shift himself. The channel also confirms what he already suspected. Plenty of other people are getting lucky on items, and he is not alone in this lottery. Billions of people from across the globe have been transported here, so he will not be the only one with a golden finger. There is no point in comparing. He just wants to survive and live a long time doing it. People are already discussing forming alliances. And the rise of alliances was always a matter of time because trading what they have for what they need inside a group is a strong play. His personal pressure is not high right now, so an alliance does not appeal to him yet, but for most people, pooling resources is the best survival route they have got. 2 pieces of the high-quality black spirit gold meat for dinner brings his days total to exactly 5 portions, and the system reward lands right after. The system congratulates him on 1 point of strength. Strength again, not bad at all. Because the attribute is randomized, so he is just grateful it is strength, right? Now strength is what matters most since he has got a grappling hook that reaches 200 meters, but his current strength cannot even attempt a 200-meter throw, so the excellent grappling hook is not running at full capacity. The only way to unlock its potential is to keep growing his strength, and once he can throw 200 meters, every chest, every fish, and every bird inside that radius becomes his, which is exciting just to picture. He stands, stretches, and takes stock of his supplies. 18 wood, 11 hemp rope, 1 lighter, 1 iron axe, 5 bottles of mineral water, 12 glass, 2 metal sheets, 24 portions of fish, 6 plastic, 5 potatoes, 7 stone, 2 portions of white sugar, 10 black spirit gold feathers, 8 electronic components, 3 alloy, 2 instant noodles, and 1 spear. He secures 2 small buns, some Chinese cabbage seeds, and 3 useful blueprints. His cabbage patch is growing. Still, no bronze chest this afternoon. He only pulls basic materials, yet he is still crushing the competition on day 2. His top priority is the desalination machine, which requires 20 plastic and 10 glass. 10 metal sheets are also needed, meaning he is short on plastic and metal. Tomorrow is the final day of his safety period. What happens when it ends is still a total mystery. His boat is upgraded though. His stats have improved, but reaching level 3 would make him feel much safer. Upgrading requires too many materials, absolutely impossible to gather by tomorrow. Stashing his loot, he lies on the wheelhouse floor, staring at the ceiling. Even now this world feels surreal. Meanwhile, the global chat channel is flooded with players crying to go home, but he sighs and pushes those thoughts away. Since he is stuck here, he must adapt and make the absolute most of it. Honestly, his start has not been bad. The next morning, the sun rises high. He wakes up late, eats 2 small buns, and downs a bottle of water. Stepping out onto the deck, he spots a wooden chest floating in the distance. Missing this chest is absolutely not an option. He has to act incredibly fast. He maneuvers the boat, grabs his grappling hook, and throws it with full force. Calling it his hook of hope, he watches the iron clamp arc beautifully. Talk about luck, that auto-aim feature kicks in mid-flight and secures a clean hit. Inside is basic wood and plastic. Wooden chests are common, but resources are resources. While he is stashing his haul, sharp bird cries echo from the sky. Looking up, he realizes these flying shadows are not the usual black spirit gulls. A flock of 6 or 7 birds is circling together, making him pretty excited. Everyone can craft fishing rods now, which completely crashes his monopoly on fish. Bird meat, however, is a different story because hunting seabirds is insanely difficult. Bows require rare blueprints, and very few players are actual marksmen. Honestly, sniping a moving target from a rolling ship deck is pure madness. Even that player with the pistol would struggle to retrieve a bird from the ocean. That means bird meat will remain a luxury item, and he wants in on it. He inspects the circling flock, and the system displays their name as moonglow swallows. They are common seabirds that live in groups and feed on fish. Their feathers glow under the moon, serving as a rare crafting material. These birds look completely different from the black spirit gulls he saw before. These plump birds have gray-brown heads and backs, looking very distinct. With snow-white feathers on their bellies and under their wings, they look quite beautiful. Currently, the flock is circling about 100 meters above his boat. Since they refuse to come down, he decides to bring them down himself. He grips his grappling hook, swings it, and hurls it toward the sky. The heavy iron climbs 20 or 30 meters before losing momentum and falling back. His face burns. He clearly overestimated his arm strength, which is only 9. That is below average, and throwing straight up for 20 or 30 meters is extremely exhausting. Reaching 100 meters is impossible. Since direct force fails, he must adapt. He decides to wait, laying some spoiled fish meat flat on the deck. Under the blazing hot sun, the raw sword spirit fish is already rotting. It has been spoiling for a while. It is pretty pungent now, which might not even work as bird bait. If only he had live fish, their flopping movement is way more attractive to hungry birds. It is the perfect lure to draw them down, but ocean fish caught on iron hooks do not last. They end up dying quickly on the deck, even if he leaves them completely alone. So live fish are hard to come by. That spoiled sword spirit fish meat has limited appeal. The moonglow swallows barely care. He waits patiently for half an hour, but nothing dives. Still, they do not fly away. They keep following the boat, which gives him some hope at least. As long as they stick around, he still has a shot. During that quiet half hour, he salvages another wooden chest. He gets 2 wood and a pack of compressed biscuits, but no more. Chests are in sight and the birds refuse to land. Honestly, wouldn't you get bored too? The morning chatter is a bit calmer than the nighttime chaos, but it is still busy. Somebody is rushing their upgrade. Someone else is just 2 units short. One guy is falling behind and getting roasted. Someone points out that the crafting table can make fishing rods, while another complains they do not have materials for one because their recent upgrade burned through absolutely everything. Someone notes that metal prices on the trading channel are skyrocketing because the table is a key facility and metal scrap drop rates are pretty low. Then a bunch of fishermen post. Someone with 30 years of experience is desperate to craft a rod. Another is seeking a wood and metal partnership for a shared rod. Someone asks if taking turns fishing is actually a thing. Most of the channel is just discussing upgrades and fishing. It makes sense since there is not much to do out here. Fishing kills time, provides food, and brings in resources. The rod itself only takes 1 wood and 1 hemp rope. He doesn't even need a blueprint. Since he has meat but lacks live fish, fishing is a great way to kill time. He heads to the wheelhouse and crafts a 5-meter long rod with a thin, transparent line. It is just a common quality, very crude rod paired with a pretty ordinary line. Don't expect to catch anything big or be prepared to lose it. The system's own evaluation confirms his doubts. Catching ordinary fish is fine, but hooking a big one means the rod breaks or the line snaps, and since quality is common, leaving it sit would be a waste, so he hooks a piece of sword spearfish meat onto the line and casts it out. He was a freshwater fisherman before the transmigration, so the basics are not new to him. Sea fishing is quite different, but he gets into the rhythm fast. While fishing, he keeps a close eye on the sky and sea. Chests and birds are far more valuable than ordinary fish. That spoiled sword spirit fish meat might have lost its appeal to the birds, but it still works great on sea fish. His rod twitches almost immediately. He lifts and a fish is hooked, an ice thorn puffer fish. This common ocean species favors decaying matter and lives in schools. Catching just one means the whole school follows. There's a whole school right here. He stops the boat because the black mist behind him moves at 5 knots, while his level 2 boat runs at 10. Even if he lingers here, that mist cannot catch him, so he can fish in peace. That spoiled sword spirit fish meat makes excellent bait, and these ice thorn puffer fish absolutely love decay. No wonder they bit so fast. He tosses the gasping ice thorn puffer fish onto the deck, letting it flop. Then he glances up at the moonglow swallows and casts again. The system was right, that fresh cast. Casting in the same spot gets fast bites. Within 10 minutes, he catches 8. They are ice thorn puffer fish. He leaves them flopping loudly on the deck. Their loud, chaotic wriggling makes perfect bait. Just as he casts again, they arrive. The moonglow swallows finally swoop down. diving straight toward the deck to steal the easy meal. The grappling hook is resting right by his side, ready for the moment they strike. He drops his rod, snatches up the heavy iron hook, and hurls it with perfect precision. At about 10 meters, the flock scatters. Some twist sharply to escape the incoming danger. Others dive straight ahead, unable to resist the lure of a free meal despite the threat. It is the age-old rule: humans ruin themselves for gold, while birds perish for food. The heavy iron hook strikes its target, capturing a Munglo swallow as it screeches frantically. It cannot break free from the iron grip, and the rope drags it down mercilessly. 2 other swallows dive past him, snatching a pair of puffer fish before retreating. He cannot stop them all. A single grappling hook only gives him 1 shot per cycle. These aerial thieves are simply too quick to allow for a second attempt before they flee. Still, 1 catch is plenty. The trapped Munglo swallow crashes down onto the wooden deck. He raises his iron axe and ends it with a single, clean strike. The system prompt awards him 6 pieces of swallow meat and 3 special feathers. No blood drops. That is a shame, since seabird blood makes excellent bait for fishing. Instead, the game system yields more feathers. The item description immediately catches his eye. Notification describes them as good quality special feathers from a Munglo swallow. They are excellent crafting materials, surprisingly high grade for such a common bird. These feathers are clearly extraordinary. Suddenly, the sharp cries echo from above again. The surviving swallows are still circling overhead, and none of them seem willing to leave. Even the 2 that fed are lingering. They want more, and that is perfect. As long as they keep circling, he keeps getting chances. It is just like gambling. The casino doesn't fear a winner. It only fears a player who walks away. If you keep playing, the house always wins. These birds are destined for his axe. Suddenly, a chest floats nearby. He drops the fishing rod and steers toward it. His eyes light up as it draws near. This is a rare bronze chest. Until now, every single crate salvaged from the open water has been cheap wood. Better chests were always combat drops, never fished up. His luck is finally changing. Using his high-grade grappling hook makes pulling the bronze chest incredibly easy. The system notifies him of his loot: 3 metal scraps and 1 bearing. That is it. After all that anticipation, he was really hoping for a blueprint. Instead, he gets basic junk and a heavy bearing with no immediate use. Still, metal scrap is always in high demand, so it is not a complete waste. He baits his hook and casts out again because the school of puffer fish is still there. Bites register immediately, and he keeps piling the live fish onto the deck. 5 minutes later, 2 more are landed. The hovering swallows cannot resist the temptation and dive. They dive, and his grappling hook snags another bird with flawless accuracy. Once caught by this hook, escape is impossible, a hidden perk of a perfect shot. 6 more pieces of meat and 3 more high-quality feathers are added to his inventory. Only 1 bait fish was stolen this time, which is a massive improvement. The greedy birds refuse to fly away. He already knows how this tragedy ends. Within an hour, all 7 lie dead. He nets 42 meat, 21 feathers plus 17. Icethorn puffer fish clutter the deck. The school finally runs dry with no more bites. He restarts the boat and sails on. Along the way, he processes the Munglo swallow meat. Its texture is surprisingly close to black spirit gold meat. Without any seasoning, the roasted version tastes pretty terrible. Spices exist on the market, but they sell out instantly at brutal prices. Now is not the time to splash cash on flavor. Just staying full is his goal. Eating well can wait. He lists the processed Munglo swallow meat online. He posts it on the trading channel and keeps fishing. Meanwhile, everyone else scrambles. They race to prepare, fearing what comes after novice protection ends. Panic sets in. Prices for wood and hemp rope are skyrocketing. Players scramble desperately to hit level 2 before the ticking deadline. The chat rolls on, with someone finally hitting level 2. Another boasts about a new crafting table, while others worship elite players. Some begging types demand that high-level players share free materials. Angry players snap back. Nobody owes you anything here. They mock the moral guilt-tripping. Then, a new alliance recruits. They only want level 2 boats, leaving low-level beggars in the cold. He watches the drama unfold while fishing, thoroughly entertained. More crafting tables go online worldwide, causing the markets to shift. Fish flood the trading channel, and prices on his own catch begin to slide. Fortunately, bird meat holds steady. Suddenly, his fishing rod jerks forward with insane power. The underwater force is massive. immediately bending his rod into a deep arc. Caught off guard, he slips and nearly falls over before realizing this thing is huge. It is a giant beast, the exact challenge he knew would find him eventually. Tension snaps, the rod springs back straight, he reels in, his heart sinking. Over half his line is gone, along with the hook, the line snapped completely. A bitter smile is all he can manage. He predicted this, just not so soon. Even the real ocean has massive fish. In this survival game, they are far deadlier. Cheap gear only works on small fry. Hooking a leviathan means instant disaster. This explains why the market is not flooded with giant sea creatures yet. Without a strong hook, fishing is impossible, so he puts his broken rod aside. He sits on the deck instead, scanning the waters for floating chests. With fishing paused and birds gone, collecting supply chests is his only option. Even with boosted luck, chests are rare. 10 a day is the absolute limit. Most players only grab half that. His boat is already level 2, luckily. The pressure is off, but extra resources never hurt. A wooden chest drifts in. As he stands, another chest appears from a completely different direction. It is either total quiet or double spawns. Luckily, his grappling hook has incredible range. He swings his hook and reels both chests in without waiting for them to drift closer. The system logs pop up, awarding 3 hemp rope, 2 stone, and 2 plastic. Along with 2 wood, just basic wooden chest materials, standard for now. By sunset, he pulls a few more. All wood, not a single bronze chest in sight. Worse still, no other seabirds have appeared since that moonglow flock. It was lucky he caught 7 earlier, or his food supply would be dangerously low. Visibility crashes after sundown, making chest hunting nearly impossible. He settles in for the night. He sits by the fire, roasting meat while watching the chat channel. Nightly chatter rolls by. One user is 2 hemp ropes short for an upgrade, begging for help, promising 3 back. Someone else is starving. Another asks why they do not just buy from the market, only to get snapped at because everyone is hoarding their hemp rope for the next upgrade. A realist points out that since survival is not guaranteed, there might not even be a later. One lucky soul brags about catching 2 fish today. A critic replies that anyone can fish now, warning basic rods only catch small ones. Then some washed-up celebrity from the entertainment world starts making grand promises, offering $200,000 once they return, only for the chat to mock them mercilessly. Believing they will ever return home is pure delusion. The chat keeps scrolling. Even with the recent chest rush, many cannot upgrade, and most lack basic food and water. Fresh drinking water is especially scarce. He looks back on his own day. Out of 10 chests pulled today, only 1 contained mineral water. The drop rate is brutal. Back in the old days, a single bottle easily lasted him a full day. But in this blistering heat, 1 bottle is nothing. Water is pure gold. He was fairly sure of it before, but now he takes stock of his inventory. Building the desalinator requires 12 glass, 8 metal sheets, and 12 plastic. He has enough glass, but he remains short 2 metal sheets and 8 plastic. Luckily, today's haul exceeded his expectations, bringing him just 1 step closer. Relying on luck and scavenging to fill the gap could take days, too slow. Even longer if his bad luck holds out, making the public market his best option. Since the novice protection period is ending, essential resource prices are beginning to climb. Wood and metal sheets are spiking, but plastic has actually dipped in value. Nobody needs plastic yet. Most players cannot think past today. He checks his own stash, 27 wood and 16 pieces of hemp rope. He also has 5 bottles of mineral water, keeping his hydration stable. Although he found a bottle today, the blistering heat forced him to drink it. Staying at 5 bottles requires serious frugality. After weighing his options, he lists 1. Selling water on the trading platform makes sense. Wood and rope are too precious. He is short on building materials, but has plenty of water to spare. Once his desalinator is running, clean water will never be a problem again. He lists 1 bottle, asking for either 10 metal sheets or 10 plastic pieces. Though he worries the price is too high, both listed bottles are snatched up. The buyers pay entirely in plastic, netting him 20 pieces for his 2 bottles. Staring at the plastic stack on deck, he is completely stunned. Unbelievable. 3 days of hard scavenging had not yielded even half this much material. Water really is king, yet he is still short 2 critical metal sheets. Asking 10 metal sheets for 1 water bottle will not work in this market. Metal sheet prices are rising steadily, unlike cheap and heavily discounted plastic. To secure the metal, he must lower his price, listing a bottle for 8 sheets. 10 minutes pass, absolute silence. Then a private message pops up. A desperate player begs for water, offering 5 metal sheets in exchange. They claim to have gone 3 days without a drop. 5 sheets is cheap. But with metal sheet prices soaring, he decides to accept the trade. Waiting hours for a perfect trade makes no sense when he only needs 2. More metal sheets, he cannot stay stuck forever. Trading 1 water bottle gets him 5 metal sheets. Now that all the desalination materials are ready, he walks to the table, selecting the machine to begin. Surprisingly, crafting takes time. Fortunately, it is only 10 minutes. Since his spear and fishing rod were crafted instantly, this wait is a surprise. Must be a blueprint requirement. Still, 10 minutes is fine. He browses the market. The market has decent items: seasonings, air conditioners, blueprints, and fertilizer. Most listings are basic, but a slow trickle of good things is starting. He decides to browse the market much more often. Even with insane luck, he cannot pull everything alone. Trading is essential. The goods are not urgent. Seasoning is nice, but survival comes first. Stomach first, eat well later. That is the only way. That cooling blueprint is useless without power, just expensive furniture. But fertilizer is niche. Almost nobody can plant on a boat yet, but our guy is built different. What is useless to others is gold to him. The price is low too, 5. Of fertilizer for 1 wood. He spends 4 wood and cleans them out, 20 units. Of fertilizer. Next, he messages the air conditioner blueprint seller. There. Asking price is 50 wood or 50 hemp rope. He asks for a discount. They say the price is not high. Since they did not refuse outright, he knows there is room to bargain. He replies that absolutely nobody can afford 50 wood or 50 hemp rope right now. The blueprint is not even a necessity. They play hardball, claiming they are in no hurry. A blueprint is rare and everyone knows its value, but he presses on. An air conditioner is not urgent. Even back on Earth, not every single household had one. Here it is a luxury. Who would dump 50 units of upgrade materials just for the privilege of looking at it? The seller goes silent, then asks for his offer. He offers 1 500 milliliter bottle. Too little, they reply. He pushes. He compares that water to 10 wood, playing hardball. He argues that fresh water is the only true hard currency on the sea. The seller wavers but does not cave. He throws in 2 more wood. They counter. With 10 wood and 10 hemp rope, they finally settle on 1 bottle of water. Plus 3 wood and 2 hemp ropes for the blueprint. He can live with that. An air conditioner is not a major necessity right now, but having one will boost his quality of life massively on this scorching sea. Honestly, if they had refused, he would have walked away instantly. Not worth it. This is not worth a fortune. Learning the blueprint, his crafting table now has 4 blueprints. Just like that, the desalination machine finishes. This device is incredibly valuable. He installs it inside the wheelhouse even though it cramps the space. With novice protection ending tomorrow, things are about to get wild. He wants nothing precious left sitting out on the open deck. The unit reads common quality. It actually turns salty seawater into drinkable water. Currently, it converts 800 milliliters into 500 milliliters every hour. 500 milliliters hourly is decent. That is 24 bottles a day. Not exactly thrilled with the conversion rate, but not disappointed either. Then he notices the word currently. That implies this machine can be upgraded, but how? The system is silent on that, a total mystery. He fills the machine's intake with seawater, drips in. A plastic tube connects to the output. The processed fresh water slowly flows into the container. The output capacity is about 20 liters. Once filled, the machine will run unattended for a long time. There's even a tap at the bottom to draw water. Simple, easy. He should probably craft a wooden bucket next to store the water. Water cannot sit in the container forever, but this is a solid start. No rush. Late afternoon, he spends 3 wood at the table to make a single bed, because the crafting table only makes standard singles. It is just large enough for him to lie down, with the bed inside. The small wheelhouse feels incredibly cramped. Tonight he sleeps on actual bedding, no more hardwood planks. Novice protection ends. Tomorrow, he has 0 clue what changes, but he has done everything possible in 3 days. If he cannot survive after this, he will gladly accept his fate. When he wakes, sunlight floods the room. He eats his last piece of high-quality black Spirit Gull Meat drinks some water and waits for his daily attribute point. It goes to Constitution. He wanted strength, but the system decides everything. So he walks out onto the open deck. Right then, a massive system alert rings in his head and every other player's mind. The system congratulates them on surviving the novice period, but delivers grim news. Do not celebrate, get ready, because the training wheels are off. From this moment on, the black mist speed doubles from 5 to 10 knots. Anyone caught in that dark mist will perish instantly. Ships lose all safe zone status. They can easily be destroyed or capsized now. No more safety nets. Players are completely vulnerable. Any form of attack is possible. The terrifying monsters lurking on the seabed are highly active now, especially at night. They might even attack during the day. The world chat finally opens up. A ship log is added. Sea merchants and pirates now roam. Merchants trade at random, unfixed spots, and as for pirates, random islands are also spawning. They might hold rich resources or hidden death. Choose wisely. The system declares that the real survival game officially begins. The cold mechanical voice almost sounds like it is enjoying their terror. Wishing everyone happy playing on the final line. Just like that, protection is gone. Real or not, he instantly feels the ocean waves rising and falling much harder. The swell is visibly larger. He scans the horizon for chests. Nothing. Time to process the update. First, no more protection. External dangers can easily destroy his ship and end his life. Even back on Earth, the ocean was a ruthless killer. Nobody ever truly conquered it, and here, it is 100 times worse. Second, the deep sea horrors. The system warned about them on day one. But during safety, nobody saw them. Now, those warnings are real. He looks down at his spear and iron axe. That brings some comfort. He is not completely defenseless. He immediately opens up the chat. World channel is now open, though players are limited to one daily message. Both channels are scrolling frantically. Everyone is spamming update reactions. The chat is a complete blur as players desperately ask about the horrors. Others claim they will find out tonight. Some are desperately begging for help. Because that creeping black mist is closing fast, and their boats are still entirely unupgraded. They wonder where the traveling merchant is, eager to buy up everything. Some ask about pirate rewards, while others warn everyone to run on site. People are desperately asking if anyone has found an island yet, but the information scrolls past. Too fast to use, it is normal. The update just dropped. Nobody knows a single thing just yet, but he notices numbers on the top right. Regional reads 100,000, and world reads over 7 billion. With 100,000 players in his region, over 7 billion exist worldwide. He closes the channel and opens the navigation log, finding a new calendar section. His location is the Wiwang Sea, with temperature 20 to 31 degrees, wind power level. To 2-0 active events, this log makes things much easier. There are 3 other additions: traveling merchants, pirates, and islands. The merchant requires another resource channel, though he does not yet know how it works or what currency they take. Surely it is not simple wooden hemp rope. That is only for player bartering, but with merchants there must be trading. With them, pirates are obviously another clear layer of danger, and he has never met. But classic stories suggest these villains kill and loot on reflex. If he ever crosses paths with them, running is his only option. Islands exist naturally out here on the sea, but what lies on them is unpredictable. Pure opportunity, another resource path. As for the creeping black mist, he is not worried. His level 2 speed is 10 knots, same as the mist. He upgraded back when the mist was only 5 knots, keeping him well ahead. With his powerful gale skill ready in his pocket, that creeping black mist is never catching him. He takes stock, still feeling the immense pressure. His talent bought him an edge. But that edge is no guarantee. He has to keep pushing. Another chest drifts by. As the waves grow larger, the tossing is violent, making it harder to hook. But not for him. The iron hook lands clean, retracting swiftly as the chest pulls close. It triggers a brand new system feature, where there is absolutely no manual lifting required anymore. The chest appears on the deck automatically, the system likely worried that taller, high-level ships would make lifting chests over the side an absolute heavy chore. This is incredibly convenient. The system awards him 1 wood and 1 stone, plus 2 spicy strips, not his snack of choice, but some players will love them. So he quickly lists them on the trading platform, just as he uploads the listings. A second chest catches his eye, and he casts his hook again. It lands perfectly, but as he pulls it in, a massive seabird suddenly dives from the sky, aiming straight for him. He barely even registers its speed. Before it descends onto the deck, a massive shadow suddenly falls over him, and he turns. Talk about an absolute nightmare from above. Those talons are like daggers. Pure survival instinct. He rolls across the wooden deck, narrowly dodging that incredibly deadly strike. While rolling, he keeps retracting the rope, dragging the chest aboard. Bird misses, circling high above with a massive 3-meter wingspan. If he had not reacted in that exact instant, those claws would have yanked him upward into the sky, meaning certain death. He never even noticed its sudden approach. The deadly bird is still circling high above, and it is clearly not finished yet. Novice protection is over. The creatures are getting much more aggressive. He cannot be careless. Quickly, he reels the chest fully aboard. Ignoring the urge to open it, he runs to the wheelhouse to tie the grappling rope to the helm, looping it around his bed and crafting table. For extra security before stepping back out, iron claw in hand. Luckily, the rope is long enough. Other players simply cannot copy this move. He mutters at the bird to descend, without a perfect shot targeting. It is too risky, but his talent and telescopic rope provide real leverage. Since a massive bird like this drops tons of meat, even without a chest. The beast seems to sense his hostility, circling a few times before diving again. A heavy oppression settles over the ship. Its shadow creeps onto the deck, his heart racing, but he stands his ground, waiting to throw until it gets closer than 20 meters. Right then, the system screen flashes the beast's stats. Sea tiger eagle, a good quality seabird, ferocious by nature, resembling a hybrid tiger. An eagle, its talons shred anything, highly aggressive. It actively attacks sailors, making it widely hated by mariners. Good grade beast, no wonder it is so massive and fierce. These birds almost always drop chests, boosting his anticipation. The beast notices his throw, but does not dodge immediately, only barely sidestepping at the last second. It has easily dodged attacks from sailors many times before, making it arrogant, but this time its carelessness is going to cost it. Because after the iron hook sails past, it suddenly turns midair, changing direction to lock onto its prey. The eagle, thinking it dodged, focuses purely on him, completely missing the hook, turning and accelerating from behind. The iron hook stabs deep into its back. The sea tiger eagle shrieks, flapping frantically to escape. No chance. He activates the Rye telescopic rope, which retracts automatically, no heavy hauling needed. He rushes inside the wheelhouse, grabbing his iron axe before heading back onto the deck. The eagle's escape is completely ruined. Its strength is immense, capable of lifting a grown man. But it cannot fight the automatic pull. It struggles all the way down to the deck, its desperate cries echoing as it thrashes wildly. The boat actually rocks under its fury. Remember, this is a level 2 boat, 15 meters long and 3 meters wide, yet a single bird is shaking it. On a level 1 boat, it would have capsized. Lucky he upgraded, or he would be choosing between losing his grappling hook or losing his entire vessel. The eagle slams onto the deck. He raises the axe and slams it onto its head, dead instantly. The system logs 50 portions of sea tiger eagle meat, along with 3 portions of blood and 8 talons, but the real prize lies right next to the corpse, a silver chest. He opens it and the system rewards him with 1 generator blueprint, 3 electronic components, 2 alloy 50 deep sea coins and 1 bedding set. A generator blueprint he already has. Refrigerator and air conditioner blueprints, but both need electricity, and now he finally has a path to it. Power is within reach. The generator blueprint can be used to craft a generator for electricity, but it requires 50 metal scrap, 10 electronic components, 10 alloy, 10 plastic in 1. He needs a lot of materials, but he already has the bearing and some of the electronic components and alloy. The rest can easily come from chests or the market. The generator is just around the corner, and once it is online, the boat changes shape, survival, and comfort will skyrocket. This generator is an absolute lifesaver. He picks up a deep sea coin, about the size of a standard 1 yuan coin. A salty breeze blows. This deep sea coin is the only currency circulating on the ocean, used to buy from sea merchants or for trading with other players. Once this currency spreads, everyone can finally ditch the annoying barter system. Trading will get significantly easier. He puts the coins away. A 4-piece bedding set goes into the wheelhouse, but the single bed does not fit it well, and he Does not have a quilt yet, so the set sits idle for now. That wood chest from before remains unopened. He cracks it open now. 2 wood, 1 hemp rope, 1 plastic and 2 deep sea coins. Standard wood chest, but those deep sea coins surprise him, meaning the currency is rolling out to players incredibly fast. Sea tiger. Eagle meat, high quality, great texture packed with protein. Every 10 portions grants 1 random basic attribute point, meat that actually raises. Tributes again, 50 portions equals 5 points. The sea tiger eagle is massive, so 50 portions of meat makes sense. Sea tiger eagle blood, fresh. Blood can be used for alchemy. Alchemy, incredible. He had assumed this blood was just another fish lure, but apparently not. He has no recipes yet, but collecting materials early cannot hurt. He needs containers though. 3 portions of blood will dry on the deck. He heads to the wheelhouse and uses the crafting table to make glass cups. 1 glass yields 3 250 milliliter glass cups. And the blood goes into the cups. See tiger eagle talons, good quality. Exceptionally sharp, use them for weapons, another quality drop. Quality item, all 3 legacy items are good, each one extraordinary, plus the silver chest. The sea tiger eagle kill is massive. He keeps working on chests while the regional channel opens in the background. The chat finally calmed after the initial detonation. Somebody quietly leaks the secret that killing sea fish has a chance to drop chests. Someone else confirms it, and another asks how. They get told to catch them first, then kill them. Someone mentions that the underwater situation is not very different from the oceans on the Blue Star that they explored during novice protection, but they would not dare enter today. Someone begs for 2 pieces of wood because the black mist is closing in. Another mocks them, telling them to just die. Then someone asks if anyone has noticed people in the region already dying. Someone confirms and asks how. Non-upgraded boats died if the black mist had not reached them yet, but nobody knows. A skeptic calls it a scam, fake news. But someone shuts him down, reminding him it is day 4 already. Idiots like that deserve to be eliminated. Meanwhile, the chat keeps rolling. Alliance recruiting, requests for blueprints, trades for fresh water and metal. The secret about killing fish for chests was always going to spread. Because the crafting table makes fishing rods, anyone catching a fish has a chance for a chest. It was inevitable. Someone died. His gaze drops to the upper right of the regional channel, that number of 100,000. The counter now reads 99,987. If that number is truly his regional player count, then yes, people have already died in multiple areas. Constant warnings, the risk of dying was always incredibly high. But how did they die? The black mist has not even reached level 1 yet. So those dozen deaths were caused by something else entirely, but what could it be? There are no answers, only a grim reminder of how lethal this world is. Simple things can kill. Noon arrives and he hooks another chest. It is finally lunchtime, and today's menu is sea tiger eagle meat, with protection. Gone in the boat flammable, he stacks stones to keep fire off the deck. With wood laid across the top, the fire starts and the meat begins to sizzle. The rich glaze forms as a wonderful smell fills the air, making him sigh. He breathes it in, completely drunk on the scent. He has roasted meat before. This fragrant meal is on a completely different level compared to Black Spirit Gold meat. That previous meat had no seasoning at all, and only its raw quality saved it. But this sea tiger eagle meat has an incredibly rich, mouth-watering aroma. He finally pulls the hot meat off the fire, impatient to taste it. Suddenly, a massive splash echoes from the water behind him, making him turn on instinct. He freezes. A strange octopus-like creature, about 5 meters long, rises from the sea. It hooks 2 tentacles over the edge and pulls itself onto the wooden deck. Landing lightly 5 meters away, they lock eyes. Its body is definitely not normal flesh. It is completely translucent and gel-like, with water ripples constantly flowing across its surface. Looking exactly like condensed seawater, its internal organs are actually visible right through its body. 8 massive tentacles stand upright on the deck, tipped sharp as knives. They stab deep into the wooden floor, covered in strange scales. Are covered in tiny scales, with some of them emitting a faint blue glow. He completely loses his voice. He has never seen such a terrifying beast. The info reads like this: Shadow Streamer, juvenile exotic beast, excellent quality. This powerful exotic beast lives in the deep sea and grows another tentacle yearly. Its limbs are incredibly tough and almost impossible to injure with standard blades. Fully grown adults can easily reach over 100 meters in tentacle length. The system tells him to be glad it is only a baby, or he would be a corpse by now. This is the first excellent tier monster he has ever met. Talk about nightmare fuel. This is exactly the deep-sea horror. A beast with tentacles that reach 100 meters is absolutely not ordinary. Standing there staring, the shadow streamer lashes a tentacle out lightning fast. Before he can even react, the blow lands. Fortunately, he was not the target. Instead, the sharp tip pierces the roasted meat right out of his hand. With just a tiny tug, the roasted food is completely gone, and he finally snaps out of his deep daze. Cold sweat breaks out. If he had been the target, he wouldn't have survived. He doesn't even want to imagine it. The young octopus brings the food to its mouth. Since its body is transparent, he can actually watch the meat travel through its throat and begin digesting. This is a genuinely magical sensation. The shadow streamer looks back at him, making his nerves instantly snap taut. So he grabs another piece of sea tiger eagle meat and tosses it over. The tentacle lashes out, snatches the meat midair, and brings it straight to its mouth. He is still alive, but with only 50 portions of sea tiger eagle meat left. If he burns through them all and the beast is still hungry, he is dead. Plus, it might attack mid-feeding anyway. Sitting and waiting to die is not an option. Looking down, his eyes land on the grappling hook and iron axe right at his feet. To avoid another sea tiger eagle disaster, the rope is already tied to the rudder. It is long enough that sacrificing a piece still leaves plenty of slack to hook chests. That backup plan is about to save him. He bends down and grabs the meat. As he tosses the sea tiger eagle meat, he quickly launches the grappling hook alongside it. The shadow streamer's attention instantly locks onto the flying meat. Just as its tentacle impales the food, the iron hook flies in right behind it. It sinks deep into the creature's body, releasing a thick stream of blue liquid. Blue blood worthy of an exotic beast flows out. His other hand already grips the axe. A high-pitched wail, sounding almost like a crying child, erupts from the shadow streamer. At that very instant, a massive tentacle lashes out at him. He is ready. With a quick roll, he barely dodges the strike, but this monster has more than one weapon. Just when he thinks he is safe, a sharp pain shoots through his calf. Another tentacle has sliced him, leaving a deep gash that bleeds heavily. He hisses in pain, cold sweat dripping, as the shadow streamer slams down again. The tip slams down, embedded in the wood, an opening. Ignoring his bleeding leg, he raises the iron axe and swings down with full force. The tough scales are no match for his high-quality axe. With all his might, the blade bites. It slices the tentacle clean off, the momentum gouging deep into the wooden deck. Another painful, wailing cry rings out as the shadow streamer loses its first limb. More tentacles fly his way. Time to react. He triggers the Ryu telescopic rope. The rope retracts with incredible force, catching the shadow streamer completely off guard. It gets yanked violently toward the boat, its tentacles snapping back wildly. Its body slams hard against the wheelhouse wall, the rope remaining tightly locked. Pinned like a magnet, absolute relief. This Ryu rope is completely unbreakable. No amount of struggling will tear it free. He slowly stands up and immediately flinches. That leg is in terrible shape. Luckily, the strike only sliced him. A deep puncture would have been far worse. The shadow streamer is 5 meters long, meaning he is safe if he stays beyond that distance. He underestimated its reach. The body is stuck, but the limbs are free. They cannot reach his position, but they can easily lash out at the wheelhouse. The wheelhouse is made of ordinary wood. It will not hold for long. This beast is powerful, and with its razor-sharp tips, it easily shreds the wood. Wood chips fly as 8 thrashing tentacles punch countless holes through the walls. His vital desalination machine is inside, along with almost all his accumulated supplies. If the structure collapses, absolutely everything is gone. Losing that desalination machine would be an absolute, catastrophic disaster for his survival. Even worse, if the rudder is destroyed, the monster gets free. If that happens, he will end up as meat on the chopping block. Dragging his wounded leg, he grabs the spear from the deck and steps forward. This spear is basic quality, carrying far less lethality than his iron axe. But in a fight like this, weapon reach matters way more than pure damage. Range before he can close the distance, 2 tentacles whip out. This creature has actual intelligence. Even while smashing the wheelhouse, it spots his approach. He barely dodges. In time, bad move. He completely underestimates its flexibility, missing its First strike, they whip back to ambush him from behind. Two tentacles, one grazes his flank, the other plunges right into him. A sudden wave of agonizing pain nearly forces him to drop the spear, but sheer willpower holds. He cannot lose this weapon. Dropping it means certain death. He must hold on. The intense pain drives him into an absolute frenzy. Gritting his teeth, he charges forward, finally reaching spear range. He drives the spear straight into the shadow streamer's head. Its body is pinned against the wall. Even seeing the blow coming, it cannot dodge. The weapon pierces its head clean. Thick, dark blue liquid gushes out, although the tentacles are scaled. Its head and body are translucent and soft, like jelly. His basic spear pierces it easily. With its brain punctured, the shadow streamer thrashes in a final frenzy. 6 remaining tentacles whip wildly. He takes the brutal hits, not pierced again but whipped repeatedly. His entire body is surely covered in deep bruises. This chaos does not last. Under 30 seconds. And the beast stops moving. Dead, the shadow streamer is gone. The tentacle embedded in his flesh dissolves, and he collapses onto the deck, gasping as relief washes over him. The system suddenly congratulates him on getting 80 portions of shadow streamer meat, 8 valuable tentacles, and 5 portions of shadow streamer blood. The corpse vanishes. Right there on the deck, a golden chest, the very first golden chest he has ever pulled. Given the beast's high tier and strength, a golden chest makes perfect sense, but before opening it, he accesses the trading channel first because what he desperately needs right now is medicine, and his physical state is far too dangerous to ignore. He has multiple wounds. The worst is the deep puncture in his shoulder, but his calf, lower abdomen and arms are all torn up at once, and those whip marks are too numerous to count. Talk about terrible luck. He just wanted to eat lunch, and there is plenty for sale on the channel, but very little medicine. He filters and finds 3 items: Ulanfin capsules, common fever medicine, slow effect, ineffective above 38.5 degrees. Elute capsules, common, slow, anti-inflammatory, useless once wounds are abscessed. See blue gauze, common, stops bleeding during emergency bandaging. The gauze and anti-inflammatory pills are the immediately useful items, but that gauze price is incredibly steep. 1 roll for 3 bottles of mineral water or 30 units of wood or hemp rope. No time to haggle, so he draws 1,500 milliliters of fresh water straight from his desalination machine and completes the trade. He has no proper container prepared, still running short on plastic. Definitely not crafting bottles now. How the buyer actually collects the water is their problem. The transaction goes through automatically, and he gets the gauze, so he bandages that shoulder puncture first. The wound is luckily on his front, not the back. Otherwise, he never could have wrapped it himself. It's done, but barely. The wound is still bleeding, though much slower now. This gauze works, but only adequately. Just common gauze with no instant clotting, of course. He glances at the other wounds and sighs. There was only 1 roll of gauze in the entire market, and he bought it, leaving absolutely nothing left for the rest of his cuts. He drags himself toward the golden chest, praying for something to patch him up. Desperately pleading for survival, he begs for real medicine before slowly popping the lid open. The system awards him 1 cola recipe and 1 Yunnan white medicine recipe, plus 5 electronic components, 5 alloy, 10 wood, a massive seafood feast, and 200 deep-sea coins, a true golden chest haul. He has never pulled 2 recipes before. But the absolute prize is that Yunnan white medicine recipe. The name says it all. The system description confirms this, is used to craft the legendary Yunnan white medicine. Stops bleeding, sterilizes, promotes rapid scabbing. Heals external wounds rapidly. The ultimate survival remedy. It requires 3 herbs, 1 quality biological blood, and 100 milliliters of fresh water. Perfect remedy for bleeding. Exactly what he needs right now because he has 3 portions of quality sea tiger eagle blood ready. He is not short on fresh water, meaning the only missing ingredient is herbs. He immediately opens the trading channel to search. Only 1 person is selling them. 5 portions in total, priced at 30 wood. Quite steep. He messages the seller to haggle first, ready to just buy them if they refuse. They ask for an offer. He suggests 500 milliliters of fresh water, the current hard currency. The seller counters. Fresh water normally trades for 10 wood per 500 milliliters. His offer is too low, but he argues herbs are useless right now. Nobody else has contacted them. He is only buying them as a backup and does not need them immediately. No one else can use them yet. They go silent. meaning his guess was right, no other buyers. Medicine is scarce, a roll of simple gauze goes for 3 bottles of mineral water. Other actual medicines are just as expensive, no hospitals in this world, but plenty of danger. Finished medicine is highly prized, but raw herbs are useless without a recipe, even less useful than wood. And he only has a use for them because he happened to pull a rare recipe. Just as he thinks about adding more, they reply first, fine, they will trade. He agrees but warns them that he lacks a container. They need to prepare one too. Hold the water. The seller is clearly surprised. They ask if the water is not bottled. He replies that he has a desalination machine. No bottles. The trader is completely shocked. Even from afar, by day 4, most people can barely meet daily water needs yet. He has a machine producing fresh water continuously. The development gap is staggering. Having clean water early on means commanding infinite resources on the open market. It is the ultimate trading chip. Anything listed for water gets snatched up instantly. His growth is about to leave everyone behind. Talk about a massive head start. The seller quickly sends a friend request, promising to contact him first for good finds. Smart move, since his desalination machine guarantees he will have things to trade later. He accepts the request, securing his very first friend in this brutal new world. Their handle is Joe Bing. Everyone in this world communicates by real name. No aliases allowed. Once Joe Bing gets a container ready, the transaction goes through. 500 milliliters of fresh water for 5 portions of raw herbs, fair trade. With water on hand, his purchasing power has massively jumped, with materials ready. He heads to the crafting table and learns the Yunnan white medicine recipe. He hits craft, just like the desalination machine. This requires a 10-minute wait. 10 minutes, he should not die from this. He glances at his bleeding wounds. They sting terribly, but none seem fatal yet. He can hold out for 10 minutes. He checks the spoils from the shadow streamer, a top-tier exotic beast. The drops look promising, starting with excellent quality meat that tastes pretty average. But it packs immense energy, greatly replenishing the body. Every 5 portions grants him a random basic attribute point. It is another stat-boosting meat. He has seen Tiger Eagle meat do this before, but he is still incredibly excited. This food is impossible to buy on the open market. He searched for it earlier and found absolutely nothing. Anyone who finds stat-raising food keeps it for themselves unless they get desperate, and he is certainly not desperate. This is his. Needs a storage box. Supplies are piling up, and leaving them on deck is foolish. A box saves space and slows down spoilage, which really matters. With no refrigerator, he also got excellent quality shadow streamer blood with high alchemy value. It strongly attracts fish, though drinkable in an emergency. Just expect diarrhea. This excellent blood can be used for yan white medicine, but using it to lure fish would be way too extravagant. He has no intention of doing that. He also got a decent shadow streamer tentacle. Rich in nutrients, but that is all. It is just a fancy ingredient. That good rating only comes from being nutrient-dense. Meanwhile, his yan white medicine finishes crafting and he pulls it off the table. This yan white medicine is relatively precious. It stops bleeding instantly, sterilizes and promotes scabbing. It is a must-have for any traveler. This is a great surprise. He quickly applies some of it to his calf wound. A cooling sensation spreads, and the wound stops bleeding right before his eyes as the pain drops sharply. Feeling much better, he applies it to his other wounds. He even covers the deep puncture on his shoulder, emptying the bottle. 1 bottle gives roughly 10 applications. Just an estimate though, as the wounds were different sizes. Honestly, it is not much medicine. He wanted to save some in reserve, but that is impossible now. Crafting more is also out of the question. He has the excellent blood, but the herbs are gone. The 5 portions he bought are mostly gone. 3 were used, leaving 2, not enough for another bottle. Until he finds more herbs, he has no backup medicine. He will just have to be extremely careful. Next, he crafts a 99-slot storage box. 1 item type can stack up to 99 per slot. Everything lying around goes inside, leaving the deck and the wheelhouse feeling way more spacious. He has been working hard since dawn and has not even eaten lunch yet. Standing on deck, he hooks a floating wooden chest, then starts grilling up some meat. No more monster attacks today, right? He keeps a close eye out, only relaxing after confirming the waters are clear. Since his boat is still moving, he is well clear of the shadow streamer's territory. No second beast should leap out. That creature was likely a deep-sea horror. or perhaps just one variation of them. After all, this ocean is massive enough to fit 7 billion people. Shadow Streamer cannot be the only exotic beast crawling on the seabed. There must. The others, now he finally understands why there have been so many casualties already. Since these deep-sea horrors do not just strike at night, they can attack during the day. The system warned him, but he did not take it seriously. He never expected to. Encounter one so quickly. Daytime is clearly not safe either. The danger is real. Daytime danger is lower out here, but it never hits zero. That Shadow Streamer was merely a juvenile, yet it possessed absurd, terrifying power. An adult beast with 100-meter tentacles would easily flip his entire boat in a heartbeat. Deep urgency rises within him because he has plenty of resources, but his defenses are lacking. Without his perfect shot skill and telescopic rope, those tentacles would have killed him. He desperately needs a ranged weapon to protect himself. With a ranged weapon, he would not have taken such severe, life-threatening damage out here. His spear is only 2 meters, forcing him to step directly into its attack zone. A ranged weapon completely flips that dynamic, but the crafting table only makes basic gear. It only produces simple spears and axes. Longbows and crossbows require rare blueprints. He has none, so he must search chests or hunt for them on the market. Luckily, the sea tiger eagle meat finally finishes roasting over the crackling campfire. After making absolutely sure that no other monsters have appeared, he finally sits down to eat. Normally, 50 portions would yield 5 attribute points, but his luck fell short. Since the Shadow Streamer ate a few portions, his math falls short. Fortunately, he can use the streamer's own meat to top off his attribute gains today. After eating, he sits quietly on the deck, scanning the calm horizon. His wounds are not fully healed, keeping his physical movements to a minimum. Thankfully, his telescopic rope is incredibly long, and Perfect Shot handles all the difficult targeting. As long as a chest is visible, he can hook it without moving. The afternoon passes in absolute calm, no exotic beasts, not even a single seabird. Dinner is once again more roast meat, something other starving players can only dream about. Honestly, imagine having to choke down the exact same meal every single day. Still, he must force himself to eat it to keep raising his basic baseline attributes. His baseline was incredibly low. He sits by the fire scrolling chat. One terrified player is begging for 2 hemp ropes as the black mist slowly closes in. Another gets cut off mid-sentence as the darkness swallows them completely. Someone else is running the grim math. The mist is moving faster now. The terrifying black mist is rapidly catching up to all of those level 1 boats. By tomorrow morning, not a single level 1 vessel will remain on the sea. Their region has already lost over 500 players to the sea. Do these terrifying monsters only attack at night? Another player quickly confirms they encountered a beast during the broad daylight. The entire chat erupts with questions. What was it? Was it actually scary? It was a giant turtle with an incredibly hard shell that climbed onto their boat. It nearly crushed the deck, and poking it with a spear did nothing. After 2 hours of desperate struggle, they finally shoved it back into the water. They did not even manage to kill it. Survival was just pure, raw luck. A water jet blasted them 3 meters, nearly knocking them overboard. Thank goodness it was only common quality, otherwise they would be dead. Some foolish players are still laughing it off, thinking these sea beasts are completely weak. But the system warns that the unlucky ones are not here to speak. Now players retreat deep inside their secure cockpits. Nobody is opening their doors tonight. The chat burns with absolute terror. If common beasts are this deadly, the true terrors are unfathomable. Excellent beasts are rare. It makes sense, since everyone is too weak to face them on day 4. That would leave no path to survive, and only incredibly unlucky survivors face them. Normal players have basically 0 chance of surviving a fight against an excellent beast. He only made it because of his special system cheat, but even common beasts are deadly. At this early stage, most of the casualties actually came from those lower-tier monsters. Later that night, he puts out the fire and retreats to the drafty, ruined wheelhouse. The cockpit is in absolute tatters, full of holes left by the Shadow Streamer. At least the door survived, a tiny bit of comfort as he lies down. Staring at the ceiling of his hard single bed, sleep completely escapes him. He is not alone. It is the first night without novice protection, and system warnings have everyone terrified. Outside, a light wind whistles through the holes in his walls, making it sound deafening. The darkness pressing against his boat feels heavy, and the howling wind only makes it worse. The horror vibe is dialed up to 11. Honestly, who could sleep in this? The channels are in pure chaos, with players screaming about massive squids boarding their rafts. One player reports an 8-meter squid, while another begs for help against a giant crab. The crab is clawing through their walls. Meanwhile, some lucky souls wonder why their seas are quiet. Then someone else posts a warning about a giant lobster. The situation is a total mess. Exotic marine beasts are boarding boats everywhere, sending shockwaves of panic through the community. Thankfully, all of these monsters seem to be common quality, with barely any good ones. Absolutely no excellent beasts have appeared. A few lucky players report complete silence on their end. He wonders if he might actually be one of those lucky few tonight. His boat remains incredibly peaceful. No sounds of scratching claws or heavy breathing, just the wind. Nothing has boarded. Suddenly, his eyes snap open to see soft morning sunlight filtering inside. The gentle warmth on his face makes him realize something shocking. He actually fell asleep. He had spent the entire night terrified, refusing to close his eyes for even a second. He waited for deep-sea horrors, but exhaustion finally won and dragged him under. Now it is already morning. He survived the first night without a scratch. He is incredibly lucky. Nothing crawled onto his deck while he was fast asleep. Otherwise, he would be a corpse, instead of enjoying a breakfast of grilled meat and water. After eating, he steps out onto the deck to take a deep breath of fresh ocean air. After scanning the empty waters for treasure chests, he pulls up the trade interface once more. The very first thing he looks at is the player count in the top corner. It reads 97,879. That is terrifying. In just one night without protection, their region has already lost over 2,000 players. The deep-sea horrors are clearly to blame. Imagine the sheer terror they felt. The global chat is active with players incredibly grateful to have survived. Others describe terrifying beasts that felt like the Grim Reaper staring right down at them. Injured players are desperately begging for medicine to patch up their bleeding wounds. Others look at the 1,000+ death toll and ask how survival is even possible. A few express massive relief that their attackers were only low-tier common beasts. Of course, some contrarians claim the ocean threat is fake because nothing attacked them. Naturally, the mocking starts, with people making fun of 7-meter squids and giant crabs. They sarcastically ask why nobody has complained about 6-eyed flying fish yet. Hilariously, someone replies that they actually did fight a flying fish last night, even if they could not quite count the creature's eyes in the dark. Some buy blueprints at crazy prices, while others recruit for the 4C's alliance. Seonyong refuses to make the mistake of thinking this system is bluffing. He has faced a deep-sea horror with his own eyes, nearly dying under its tentacles. It really bothers him that everyone else in chat only encounters common-grade horrors, while his own draw was excellent, leaving him to wonder if his luck is just terrible, or if the system has targeted him specifically. Either way, complaining changes nothing, but the trade he is setting up definitely will. He remembers he never properly checked that second blueprint from yesterday, the cola crafting blueprint, because that Yunshan white medicine recipe stole his entire attention. The system panel shows that a cola crafting table produces drinks that quench thirst and provide body sugar, making it a popular universal drink, requiring 1 unit of sugar, 250 milliliters of fresh water, and 1 plastic per batch. Production cost is brutal. Fresh water alone is basically hard currency. Sugar is even rarer, with only 2 portions in his possession so far, and only plastic comes cheap. He is in no rush to brew, so he just learns the blueprint at the crafting table for later. What he actually needs today is metal sheets. The generator blueprint asks for 50 metal sheets and 10 electronic components, 10 alloy, 10 plastic, 1 bearing, and everything except the metal sheets is already on hand. Metal sheets are plentiful on the market, and he plans to spend his fresh water. The desalination machine has been working without pause. 16.5 liters produced, 3 used, and 13.5 in reserve, which buys a ton. He posts his ad on the communication channel. 500 milliliters of fresh water for 8 metal sheets, limited stock, first come, first served, and he drops the listings on the trading channel for metal sheets. Only with dozens of ads scrolling constantly, his listing barely stands out at first, but of course, someone quickly notices the wild listing. The chat lights up with someone pointing out he is selling fresh water, not mineral water. Somebody asks what the difference is, and another player explains That mineral water comes from chests, but fresh water means he makes it himself. Someone hollers that this is the same guy who sold iced cola before. Somebody calls him a big shot, while others tell everyone to stop chattering. And buy before it is gone. Mineral water comes from chests, but fresh water does not. Selling fresh water tells the whole channel he can produce it himself. His entire drinking supply is no longer chest dependent, meaning he has pulled ahead of everyone else. Talk about an absolute power move. The name Seonyong is now stuck in a lot of heads, and the 10 listings vanish in under 3 minutes. 5,000 milliliters of fresh water traded for 80 metal sheets. Now every material for the generator is finally in his hands. Prices on this ocean swing fast. 2 days ago, metal sheets peaked in value when everyone needed them for their crafting tables, but now that most have built theirs, the price is sliding. Even with the slide, he is happy with 8 metal sheets per bottle. He also notices the first traders trying deep sea coins instead of barter. Only a few do this since nobody has many coins yet, but the direction is obvious. The barter system is on its way out because coins make trades much easier. He heads to the crafting table and selects the generator. It looks like the wait time is half an hour. Is a surprise, but it does not bother him. He has nothing urgent to do. While the timer runs, he works the trade channel, listing 500 milliliters of water for 8 metal sheets 5 times, then 500 milliliters for 10 wood 6 times, then the same for hemp rope 6 times. That is 8,500 milliliters total. Combined with his earlier batch, he has listed 13.5 liters of water. That is the equivalent of 27 mineral water bottles. Almost nobody on the channel can match that massive reserve. The chat erupts again. Someone shouts that Seonyong is selling water again, while others wonder how much fresh water he could possibly have. Some insist he has a desalination machine. Others are trying to haggle for a cheaper rate, but they are told to forget it because the listings are nearly sold out. Someone snorts about how rich everyone is. He does not care about the envy. There is not another soul for hundreds of miles. Nobody can reach him anyway. His goal is the ship upgrade, not popularity. Within 10 minutes, every single listing clears. The materials pile high on the deck, and he grins at the heap. Time to upgrade. The moment he selects it, the pile vanishes. Golden light swallows the entire ship. And get this, when the glare clears, the boat is unrecognizable, about 40 meters long. Now 6 meters wide, 5 meters deep, more than double its old size. The cockpit that once sat on the deck has been lifted to a second level, an external staircase runs down to a wooden cabin underneath, 6 meters long, 4 meters wide, and 3 meters high. The deck has a 1 meter square hatch cut in the middle, with a ladder slanting down to a 12 square meter chamber. This is clearly a storage hold. He opens the vessel info and sees ship level 3, durability is 2000 out of 2000, speed 20 knots, with crafting table and storage box. He can build a mast, kitchen, and bathroom. Ship skill is steel gale, upgrade. Requirements for the next tier are 500 wood, 300 hemp rope, 200 metal sheets, 100 stone, 80 plastic, durability and speed. Have jumped. He steps into the new wooden cabin, 2 square windows let in light, but it is otherwise empty. It is a crew cabin. He had been living in the cramped cockpit until now with his bed, crafting table, and water machine. This extra cabin will make a massive difference. He heads up the stairs to the second floor cockpit. The interior remains unchanged, but the walls the shadow streamer tore open are completely seamless now, restored to brand new. He notices that the wood feels quite different too, denser and harder than level 2 boards. That explains the massive durability jump. He heads back out to the deck, then down into the storage hold. Through the hatch, the cover plate closes flush, keeping the deck completely flat. He can hide in here at night if some deep-sea horror comes calling, especially if it tries to ambush him in his sleep. As long as he holds the initiative, he can fight. What he fears is being caught off guard. He moves the storage box down just as his generator finishes crafting, so he places that down there as well. The panel reads gasoline. It is a compact, quiet generator powered by a gasoline engine. It supplies power to his ship's appliances. Gasoline, though, he frowns. He has none, so he checks the trading channel to find gasoline for sale. He finds 20 units of wood, dirt cheap. Nobody else can use them yet. Exactly why the price is so low. Unfortunately, he spent everything on upgrading his boat. Absolutely no wood, no water, zero money left. But that is fine. Gasoline stays cheap until other players finally catch up. For now, he is the only one racing for it. Lunch is roast meat again. Eating 10 portions of sea tiger eagle meat earns him 1 agility point. Agility matters now. It governs his reflexes. The higher his reflexes, the less he struggles when a deep sea monster crashes in. Waiting for chests is incredibly dull. So he passes the time reading global chat and watching the water. That is how most survivors spend their days out here. He could fish, but after his line snapped, he has not touched the rod. Checking the chat, he realizes he is not alone. Many players lost their lines to massive fish. Seafood on the market is extremely scarce. Common rods only catch small fish. The big ones snap lines instantly. By nightfall, his haul is 12 chests, all wood. Every container is hooked, but the actual contents are underwhelming. 12 wood, 7 hemp ropes, 5 metal, and 4 stone. Plus 4 plastics, 2 glass pieces, 2 steamed buns, some water, gasoline, and sugar. Good variety, but entirely basic. No electronics, no alloys, and 0 blueprints. Those require bronze chests or higher. Even then, nothing is guaranteed. He carries the single gasoline down to the hold. The panel confirms the generator only needs fuel, no oil or spark plugs. No real-world complications. He decides not to start the engine yet. There is no point. He has no appliances to power anyway. The fridge requires 30 metal, 20 plastic, and 10 electronic components. Plus 3 alloys, he is still well short. The refrigerator is the real prize. It is his top priority. Once materials arrive, he goes up to deck and spends 3 metal sheets. He crafts an iron pot he has been holding onto. He is sick of roast meat, and his stored seafood will spoil soon. If left alone, it rots. He lights a fire, setting the pot on top. He pours in water and dumps in a feast of shrimp, crab, abalone, and oysters. At least 10 varieties fill the pot, no seasoning. Fresh seafood needs none. After days of dry bread, the broth is absolute heaven. Incredibly refreshing, pure bliss. He finishes the entire pot alone. He is deeply satisfied, the best he has felt since this survival nightmare began. He promises to trade for proper seasonings once things improve. Before, survival was his only goal. Now his taste buds are fully awake. A refrigerator is the key to his future. Ice water in this heat is a dream. The afternoon sun is brutal. Even near sunset, temperatures hover around 28 degrees. And let us be honest, who could possibly refuse a freezing cold drink out here? The cold colas he traded earlier proved exactly that. He heads inside. He slips back into his cabin to rest and wait out the night. He sits in the cockpit, planning to ride out any deep sea horror right there. If things get ugly, he can retreat to the storage. While waiting, he opens chat. It is the same end of day panic. Someone notes the darkness has fallen. The horrors are coming. Another player refuses to sleep. Someone else is terrified. They beg for help. A player snaps back that there are no coordinates. Everyone has to save themselves. Some still insist the monsters are a lie. Others wish those doubters a high-grade beast tonight. A few say bring it. They claim they are not afraid. Night settles heavily and the chat threads spiral into the same old topics. Most players were attacked the night before. Only a tiny, lucky minority managed to dodge. The vast majority are dreading tonight too. He is one of the strangely lucky ones because his night passed quietly, but yesterday brought a shadow streamer. He would honestly rather face an excellent grade monster at night behind a locked door than at noon. He silently prays for no monsters tonight, or maybe just a common one. Right at that moment, his prayers prove useless. He hears footsteps on the deck. Drip, drip, water hits the wood. Soft sounds, but incredibly loud. The horror is here. He cracks the door open to peek. A figure walks slowly toward him. Under the moonlight, he finally sees it. It is a humanoid creature, head tilted sideways, with dull and lifeless eyes. Saliva drips down from its mouth straight to the wooden floor. Water runs off its body with every step, leaving a wet puddle. Name: drowned. One good quality: the description says it was a passenger who drowned at sea, who carries endless resentment into death, eyes that can never close in. Peace will attack any living soul on sight out of pure jealousy. It is another high-tier monster. Why does he always get excellent targets? While others face common ones, where are those weak monsters going? He wonders if the system has it out for him, but complaining changes nothing. The drowned one reaches the cabin door and starts knocking. Bang, bang, bang. Slow at first, then harder. the wood shudders until he fears it might fly off the hinges. He cannot let this drag, its strength is climbing. He yanks the door open. Suddenly, the monster swings wildly into empty air and stumbles. Forward, he swings the axe down on its head, but a wail leaks from its mouth. As it reaches up, calm as a corpse, it grabs the axe and yanks the blade out of its own skull. He wrestles the weapon back. On reflex, swinging horizontally this time, the axe head gets caught again. The creature has shocking strength. While he is locked in place, it punches him hard in the gut, sending him sprawling on the floor. He coughs, convinced his internal organs just got completely rearranged. As it stumbles forward, he grabs a nearby spear and drives it home. The metal tip punches clean through, but the drowned one does not even register the wound. It keeps walking forward like nothing happened. It is as if the weapon pierced someone else. Axe to the head failed, spear to the chest failed. What can kill this monster? He retreats, his hand finding the grappling hook. Kept within reach, his grappling hook has saved him more times than he can count, and right now it is the only thing giving him any real sense of security. For everyone else, this is just a tool for pulling in chests, but for him, with his perfect shot, it is a highly dangerous weapon. He lets the drowned one draw close, then throws the hook directly into its body at point-blank range. The iron tip buries deep before it can react. He rolls past the monster, snatching the iron axe off the deck on his way through. He sprints from the rest cabin trailing rope, diving straight into the storage hold. Retract, he shouts, and the rope violently yanks the drowned one off its feet, flying it across the deck and slamming its body straight into the entrance of the storage hold, wedging it tight, totally unable to enter or even retreat. A perfect opening. He brings the axe crashing down again and again. The drowned one wails but remains pinned, yet even after this onslaught, it is still alive, eventually thrashing hard enough to wrench free and stagger back up onto the deck. His strength is simply not enough to hold it forever, but by now, it is missing a leg and its torso is a shredded mess of deep slash wounds. Such injuries would kill a normal person, but it is already dead. No pain, no stopping. Talk about a relentless nightmare. He has already worked it out by now. This thing is extremely tough and feels no pain. But it is slow, reacting sluggishly enough for him to kite it, leaving the cramped storage hold. He sprints back to the cabin, grabs his spear, and returns to the deck where the open space gives him room to fight properly. The drowned one sees him and stumbles forward eagerly, its missing leg making it even slower than before. He sneers, plants his feet, and thrusts his spear straight at its head. No reaction. Speed from the monster. The spear goes clean through the skull, punching out the back of the head as the drowned one wails and flails its arms wildly, trying to swat him, but its arms are not 2 meters long like the spear, so those swings cannot reach. He shoves the spear forward to pin the head down, locking the body place. He drops the spear's tail against the deck and grabs the iron axe. A horizontal swing follows. The drowned one is too busy trying to wrestle the spear loose to notice this new threat. With the axe being high quality and sharp, it takes the head off in one clean, brutal stroke. The head rolls a few feet across the deck and stops, mouth still mumbling. Then it goes completely still. The body remains standing on the deck, held upright by the spear, showing no movement at all. The system congratulates him on obtaining a rare water spirit bead. The drowned one's corpse vanishes, and where it once stood, a bronze chest appears. He lets out a heavy breath, drops both weapons, and sits down. Having finally killed it, the beast was slow but stubborn beyond reason, and if his weapons had been any worse, he never would have survived. Why is everyone else's deep-sea horror common grade, while his is always good or excellent? Common would have taken one swing, but this was a major ordeal. He is indignant, and the only thing softening his frustration is the water spirit bead, a treasure tier item, good quality. Simply holding it lets him breathe underwater like a fish. The description is brief, but the effect is massive. With this, he can stay submerged indefinitely as long as he does not get attacked down there, but even the option to disappear under the water is a massive change in what he can achieve. He pockets it and opens the bronze chest. The system rolls out 3 wood, 2 electronic components, an alloy, a telescope, and 2 boxed lunches. This is more than he expected from a single bronze chest, and that telescope is the real curiosity here. A telescope is perfect. This nautical tool lets him spot distant threats early on. But when he lifts it to his eye, the lens is pitch black, so he sets it aside. The dark night is the obvious reason. according to the global chat, deep sea monsters. Either do not show up or appear only once per night. With this monster dead, he should be safe until dawn. He heads back to the cabin to finally get some real sleep. On the bed, leaving the dark, empty storage hold behind, he passes out the moment his head hits the wooden frame. Meanwhile, plenty of other players are still fighting for their lives, or hiding in absolute panic. Only a very small minority who killed their monster early get the luxury of actual rest. When he opens his eyes again, morning has arrived. The drowned one was his only visitor. There is no second wave. First, he checks the survivor count, 96,798. That is down over 1,000 people overnight. Talk about a brutal wake-up call. The chat is both celebratory and grim. Some are just glad the morning light is back. Others are bragging about killing a horror and getting a bronze chest. Some are envious because they could only chase their monster back into the sea and got lucky just to stay alive. Others are quietly mourning the loss of another 1,000 lives. Someone points out that global survival numbers are plummeting everywhere at a terrifying rate. Then a user asks where all the doubters from yesterday disappeared to. Another replies that they are probably dead, and everyone quietly agrees. Breakfast is just 2 steamed buns and a bottle of water. Stepping out onto the deck, the ocean breeze hits him. He is fully awake now, noticing the heat is even worse than yesterday. He opens the navigation log. Date, new calendar 13, location C. Wu Wang, temperature is 25 to 36 degrees Celsius. Weather is sunny with mild wind. No events are scheduled for today, but the temperature is climbing daily, making the ocean feel completely unbearable. If he did not need to scavenge for resource chests, he would gladly just hide away inside the cabin. The log from yesterday recorded his key actions. The daytime entry notes he crafted a generator, and his ship now has power. The late night entry details the attack by Drowned One, described as a pitiful soul who died at sea carrying deep resentment. It notes he relied on his own courage to counter and kill the beast. The log only tracks major milestones, leaving details to him. Suddenly, a drifting chest interrupts his thoughts. He closes the book, grabs his grappling hook, and starts his morning salvage run. The system notifies him of 2 wood, 1 stone, and a straw mat. Finally, there is something to put over those hard bedboards. His standard of living is actually improving. He lays the mat down in the rest cabin, then takes the new telescope out onto the deck. The high-quality lens lets him see much further and clearer than before. Instead of a regular chest, the lens catches something else. An island. He freezes for a moment, adjusting the lens for a better look. Sure enough, there is land off to the front left. He throws the wheel hard, steering his vessel straight for it. He is not the first survivor to find land. Someone found an island right when the novice protection ended and posted about it. On the chat, they reported it was small and resource poor, with just a few trees and wild fruit, but every island is different, so whatever lies ahead on whether this island is truly his, he will only know once he gets closer. Either way, very few players found islands so far. Now that he finally has one, he is absolutely not letting it slip away. His level 3 ship cruises at 20 knots, double his old speed. So, just about 10 minutes later, the ship arrives at the outskirts of the island. A massive forest appears before him on the deck, making his face light up. Trees mean valuable wood, and wood is the exact upgrade material everyone in the world desperately needs right now. Even better. Peering through his telescope, he counts several coconut trees, each one absolutely loaded with fresh coconuts. He does not see much else, but the island is clearly not tiny either. After a quick moment of thought, he decides to head ashore. He anchors well off the beach because a level 3 boat will easily run aground if pushed too close, so he swims for the shore. Thanks to his water spirit bead, the swim is effortless, like a fish in water, completely natural. He does not go empty-handed either. Our guy packs the iron axe for heavy logging, the reliable grappling hook for defense and snagging objects, and the storage box to hold his entire haul. With the axe and hook tucked safely inside, he only has to carry that single box, since the storage box is not heavy and the bead does the rest. The swim is absolutely no problem. Once on shore, he sets the box down and retrieves the grappling hook and iron axe to stay cautious, with the rope tied securely around his waist. The hook in one hand and the axe in the other, he slowly heads inland. Everything seems normal on his way to the forest. No danger spotted. The very first tree his eyes land on is labeled a common husk leaf tree. It is just a standard tree with no Special uses. 2 other species register nearby, both equally common, after taking another careful look around for danger. He sets the hook down without untying the waist rope and chops. Two-handed into the husk leaf tree trunk. His high-quality axe bites a deep notch on the very first swing. 5 more strokes and the entire tree comes crashing down. The system congratulates him on obtaining 3 wood. 6 chops for 3 wood is way faster than fishing random chests out of the sea. He works down the row, tree after tree, his wood pile growing steadily until a sudden rustle hits his ear. He freezes, turning instantly. A wild rabbit watches him from about 10 meters away. You already know what he is thinking, hook in hand. He commits to the throw before even thinking. The sharp iron hook snags it clean. Retrieving the rope, the rabbit lands in his palm before it can even react. One swing of the axe and it is finished. 5 portions of rabbit meat but no chest. How stingy, he mutters. He drops the meat on the ground and goes back to chopping. That rabbit means wild animals definitely live here. If they are all tiny ones like this, it is perfectly fine. That just means more free meat. But if they are massive beasts, things get complicated. He keeps one eye on his surroundings while working, quickly securing 3 more wild rabbits. But spotting no larger beasts, each rabbit is cleared the exact same way, his storage pile constantly growing. Then he notices a bird nest high up in a tree, easily over 10 meters. He sets the axe down, grabs his trusty iron hook, spins it, and hurls it upward at the trunk. The hook catches clean, but this time he pulls himself toward the hook, rather than pulling it toward himself. Suddenly, his feet leave the ground and he shoots straight upward. This clever trick he just discovered reveals the true power of this Rui telescopic rope. The word Rui literally means as one wishes, meaning the rope can retract either toward his hand or toward the hook. It is his call entirely. The previous owner probably never figured this little secret out. Otherwise, they never would have sold it. He grabs the trunk, sidesteps onto a sturdy branch, sets himself up, throws the hook upward once more, and pulls himself even further up the tree. Inside the nest, a tiny bird tilts its head and chirps. He was hoping for eggs. A fresh food source, but this fledgling is too small to even be worth a bite. Then the system panel pops up and freezes him in place. It is a flag-tailed pheasant. An excellent quality seabird, a precious species from the deep sea. Adults reach 2 meters with razor-sharp talons. This marine raptor just hatched. Raising it carefully might turn it into a pet, a truly excellent quality companion. He cannot believe this ugly little chirping thing is actually an excellent grade. And the system says he can keep it. With zero hesitation, he takes the nest down, slides carefully back to the ground, and heads straight for the boat. He completely abandons his logging plan, taking the whole nest back. Inside the ship's rest cabin, crouching down right beside it, from now on. He will call it Cheeky, he decides, stroking its soft head. Survival at sea is dangerous and boring, so a companion will do him good. Once Cheeky is settled, he swims back to the island to resume logging, examining every tree. Hoping for a second nest, zero luck, back to work, over an hour later, he fells every tree except the coconuts, banking 210 wood. The real bottleneck is his own body. Chopping is exhausting physical labor, and he needs regular breaks, otherwise he would have finished much sooner. His strength and constitution are still way too low. He sighs, collapsing onto the ground. He needs to keep eating attribute-raising meat to boost his stats. After resting, he targets the coconut trees, 8 giant trunks all around 20 meters tall. Each tree holds over 20 coconuts. Time to put on a show, he tells his grappling hook, scaling each trunk the exact same way he climbed the nest tree. He chops coconuts off the canopy with his axe, sending fruit raining down to the ground. After clearing all 8 trees, he has 180 coconuts. Talk about a massive jackpot, but can he chop these trees for wood? He swings his heavy axe, bringing a coconut tree crashing down. The system awards him 5 wood. It actually works, giving even more wood per tree. He tears through the remaining 7 without resting, banking 40 wood. Straight into his storage box. He is in no rush to leave just yet. Only a small portion of the island has been explored. Outside the forest, the terrain shifts to low weeds and scrub. Soon he spots another system panel for red source fruit, a common wild island crop. They are juicy, edible, and can even be brewed into fruit wine. The cluster in front of him looks just like bright cherry tomatoes. All the same size, he plucks one and pops it in his mouth. Pure perfection, sweet and juicy, he easily harvests over 50 fruits. He finds a few more patches as he walks, leaving nothing behind, past the brush. He reaches a rocky reef on the other side and stops cold. The rocks are absolutely crawling with crabs, shrimp, fish, and oysters. Mussels and abalone everywhere. This is an epic harvest, these creatures. Got stranded when the high tide pulled back. He has never gone foraging. But he watched plenty of survival streamers do it back home. Once he gathers everything, he will have another massive seafood feast waiting for him. Easily double the size of his first one, this island is incredibly generous. He mutters that living in a place like this would be nice, but it is just empty talk. The black mist behind him keeps moving, and even with a fast level 3 boat, staying is deadly. Staying anywhere too long is suicide. After confirming he walked the entire island, he wraps up. He hauls his heavy storage box back to the boat. The afternoon is already slipping away. The sun has already passed 3 or 4 in the afternoon. Chopping and exploring took all day. Gathering seafood and resources really ate up his time. His level 3 boat speed buys him a cushion against the mist, otherwise he would be sweating. At the crafting table, he uses 2 wood to make a lounge chair and stretches out. He stretches out to take stock, 4 wild rabbits, 250 wood and excellent quality. Seabird 180 coconuts, 235 red source fruits, and feast-ready seafood. The trip was great and he has no plans of letting the next island go either. Right, Kai Kai. He returns to the cabin, lifts the little pet from its nest, and places it on his palm. The tiny bird chirps as he asks if it is hungry, gently tapping its head before getting food. Splitting a red source fruit in half, he places both pieces right in front of it. The little thing is starved. Head down, it gobbles up half before targeting the rest. He tells it to slow down since no one is taking its food, then offers another piece. After a third piece, the little bird curls up in his palm and falls fast asleep. Gently putting the bird back, he knows an excellent pet deserves the best care. Back on deck, a new chest drifts by and get this, it is bronze. This is his first floating bronze chest in ages, as the others were all combat drops. The system congratulates him as he unlocks a rare Raging Wave crossbow blueprint. It includes a Raging Wave crossbow blueprint, 1 plastic, and 1 seasoning. 3 items is a light haul, but the high-value blueprint makes it incredibly rare. A bronze chest blueprint is exactly the kind of ranged weapon he has been wanting. Crafting it only requires 1 wood, 1 hemp rope, and 1 metal sheet. Cheap and easy, he learns the recipe immediately and crafts the weapon at his table. The common weapon has an effective range of 10 meters before dropping off sharply. It is good for self-defense, but he notices a massive catch. Without any bolts, this new weapon is basically an expensive paperweight. He mutters at the system for giving a useless half-gift, then remembers the trade channel. Since novice protection ended, the trade market now features a handy search bar. The bolt blueprint pops up, listed by 1 seller with no set price. He opens a chat to negotiate, but wait, the seller's name stops him cold. Yan BB, back on Earth, he was a corporate slave, and his boss had that exact name. At Lian Company, he worked under a manager named Yan BB. Is it a coincidence? After the transmigration, everyone was scattered randomly across different regions. Even married couples were separated, but he knows one thing for certain about his zone. Everyone in this region speaks the same language and comes from the same country. Chat logs show no foreigners yet, but he doubts it will stay that way. As players develop at different speeds, the system will likely reshuffle the regions eventually. The high performers will pull ahead, triggering a massive regional shakeup. Shaking off those theories, he contacts the seller anyway because he needs those bolts. Regardless of who they are, he asks for the price of the blueprint. Instead of a price, the immediate reply is a shocking question: are you Seonyong? He confirms it, and the seller asks if he worked at Lian Company. Lian is exactly the company he worked at, combined with her name, the question is its own answer. This is his old boss. He asks, is she Manager Yan? She replies, I am. Yan BB, there are no managers here, she says wistfully, not denying any of it. No company here, no boss, just endless ocean and boats, a truly bleak reality. They ride, dodging endless sudden dangers. He never expected to see Yan BB out here. Land in this region too. Honestly, he is genuinely a bit excited, not for any ulterior reason, but because meeting an acquaintance in a world this strange and this dangerous lifts a massive heavy weight off his chest he did not know he carried. She admits she did not expect to meet someone from before either, her own spirits lifting a bit, then admitting she saw him selling water earlier and assumed it was just a name coincidence, only reaching out when he messaged her before the transmigration. The two of them were strictly superior, and subordinate Yan BB was exceptional, born into wealth, a department manager at a young age, tall, gorgeous, the exact kind of figure half the office quietly worshipped. From a distance, he was just an ordinary employee. Their only intersection was work, and outside the office they were people from different worlds, but the gap has closed hard out here, and they are both happy to find an acquaintance. In the middle of the ocean, still, he has not forgotten his main goal. In this world, survival is the only priority. Everything else takes a backseat. He asks her directly how she plans to sell the crossbow bolts. She wants a barter, sounding like the shrewd professional she used to be back in the office. Whoever buys the crossbow bolt blueprint has a crossbow, and she wants a crossbow plus a generous share of the bolts he crafts. Women are at a disadvantage on strength. A crossbow erases that disadvantage, requiring much strength or skill to operate, and in a world with no firearms, the crossbow is the obvious self-defense weapon for women. He agrees without hesitating. The materials for one more crossbow are not expensive, and trading a crossbow for a blueprint is a clean win for him. He heads back to the crafting table, builds another Raging Wave crossbow, and completes the trade. The blueprint lands and he learns it on the spot, then crafts 10 bolts to start. The recipe takes 1 wood and 3 metal to produce 10 bolts, 5 bolts for 2 metal. He quotes her when she asks the price, and her reply is the practice challenge of a manager who has read the description, telling him that is basically cost. He tells her to consider it a thank you for selling the blueprint, because while he is not running any charity for her, there is no need to grind his old boss either, and this specific trade does not put him in the red. Just sets a temporary line. She thanks him, asking to add each other as friends and stay in touch. No refusal of the gesture, because at this point pride really matters less than every saved unit, and the friend request goes through. The second he confirms, exactly 10 bolts traded over for 4 metal sheets, then he crafts another 10 for himself as contingencies. Not a lot, but enough to get him through the next ambush. He looks at Yan BB sitting on his friends list and feels a little dazed. Back at the office, a few of them used to gossip about her over lunch, but she was unattainable then, far beyond reach, and they all knew it. Still, an admirable beauty is an admirable beauty, and he was no. Before today, he never imagined the two of them would have any real connection, let alone reuniting on this wide, endless transmigration ocean. The old divide is gone, and his rank is higher than hers. Maybe he begins to wonder, then quickly shakes the silly thought loose. After all, this is ruthless survival at sea. No time for that. His focus snaps back to the wooden deck, watching another chest drift close as he grabs the grappling hook to continue his grand mission of salvage fishing. Hours fly, evening rolls in, and dinner is that sea tiger, eagle meat once again today. Boost his personal attributes, making stat-enhancing food absolutely essential. Luckily, he found some salt today. It is actually pretty tasty now. He gathered earlier rests in a bucket of seawater, still swimming, so he does not need to rush. There is no way he is putting this up for sale because the trading market mostly demands drinking water. This feast is his. While chewing his food, he monitors the global chat feed. It is easily his favorite distraction. Darkness falls. The terror approaches, the same panicked cries. He never knew he could despise the dark so intensely. One player begs the incoming horror to target anyone else. Another snaps back that they are acting incredibly selfish. The reply is brutal: go cry to your mother. Alliance chatter: do they have any major groups around? Lots of recruiting. On the main feed, one player recruits for Kongchen, another warns everyone to stay away from Quang Chen. Their daily tax is 5 wood or hemp rope. And their leader, Zhou Chan, is apparently a scammer. Still, someone defends the fee. The leader must grow strong first. What an absolutely pathetic excuse. The online chat is buzzing, but every conversation inevitably returns to 2 main subjects: the approaching terror and player guilds. That terrifying threat hangs like a blade over their heads. No one is safe tonight. As for groups, plenty are active in their sector, spamming recruitments. The main draw is trading networks. Blueprints are highly coveted since they rarely appear on public listings and cost a fortune when they do. A group setup allows members with matching items to cooperate. The real catch: the actual leaders are helpful while others are just parasites. Our guy briefly considered joining a faction but lost interest fast. His stash is completely self-sustaining, getting by is currently no problem. He finishes eating and brings Kai Kai out to have her own meal. The small creature has a massive appetite for her size. She had 3 red source fruits earlier and is already starving again. To his utter surprise, as soon as she spots the sea tiger eagle meat, she starts bouncing around and chirping wildly. He asks if she wants a bite, tearing off a tiny scrap. The little pet gulps it down instantly without chewing, her gaze locking onto the remaining food. She is still hungry, the picky little thing, so he gives her another bite. Several portions are already missing from his stash. Eating the remainder would not grant him a 5th attribute point, so he lets the pet have it. Honestly, anyone watching this would lose their mind. Other desperate players are strictly rationing scraps while he is pampering his pet, and not just with random snacks but stat boosting superfoods. After swallowing 4 pieces straight, she finally relaxes. He warns her not to overeat, or she might pop, gently placing her back into the nest where she immediately drifts off to sleep. He obviously does not dare rest yet. The terror has not it arrived. Before long, a strange sound echoes outside, and through the door crack he spots a bizarre puffer fish creature, actually standing upright on the deck. Its belly is puffed up like a balloon, with 2 50-centimeter legs underneath and strange arms. The ends of its limbs are not hands, but webbed paddles. This exotic beast is a meteor dolphin, a good quality creature with deadly toxins in its body. Eating even a tiny bite means instant death. Better buy a coffin first. It is high quality, of course, because while everyone else meets common ranks, he always gets excellent or good ones, never once a common. If a complaint department existed, he would definitely file one, but there is nowhere to go, so he just endures. The meteor dolphin sways as it waddles toward the cabin. Before it even reaches the threshold, its round belly splits open and shoots a high-pressure water jet, slamming the wood like a heavy cannonball. The entire door vibrates so violently that he can feel it is about to shatter. On the very next strike, staying inside is suicide. Another hit and the wood completely gives. He will be trapped in the cabin with a vicious monster waiting. So he waits for the exact moment the meteor dolphin begins gathering pressure for its next blast. He yanks the door open, crossbow raised and aimed. The bolt flies toward the creature, which is only 5 meters away. That is well within his crossbow's range, and the bolt hits dead center. Instantly, water starts streaming out of the wound and pouring onto the deck. Wait, what? This crazy monster does not bleed, it just leaks like a broken pipe. Before he can even process that weird fact, things get even more chaotic. The meteor dolphin suddenly sucks its stubby legs right back into its round stomach. Then it starts bouncing toward him like a giant rubber ball. Just as he steps out, the heavy creature slams directly into him, knocking him completely backward. He crashes onto the hard floor, dizzy and seeing stars in his vision. Before he can recover, the creature launches another heavy bounce at him. Acting on pure instinct, he rolls aside to dodge and scrambles back up. He reloads and fires again. Another bolt connects, opening another leak on its body. But the damage is not stopping it. This weapon has 2 major flaws. It requires very little strength, making it easy for a beginner. However, the trade-offs are brutal. The weapon takes forever to reload. Firing just 1 shot at a time means he can only load bolts during the tiny gaps between attacks. Let me tell you, this fight is getting intense. The monster ignores all pain, launching itself like a shooting star right at him. His dodge is too slow this time. The impact hits him head-on, throwing him against the wall so violently his bones rattle from the shock. And yet, the unstoppable meteor dolphin is still gearing up for more. He forces the agonizing pain down, scrambling up as it prepares another charge. He manages to dodge cleanly this time, with no time to waste. He sprints for his grappling hook, his ultimate weapon for survival. But before he can grab it, the monster strikes him hard from behind, hurling him into the wall. His nose bleeds heavily from the brutal impact. He does not even need to look to know what hit him. He rolls over just as the meteor dolphin readies another strike, throwing his grappling hook now. Pain and adrenaline make his throw completely garbage. It is way off target, but somehow perfect anyway. The hook adjusts in midair, banking straight toward the massive meteor dolphin. Right then, the beast launches itself. He screams out to retract, the specialized Rui telescopic rope yanks back instantly. The meteor dolphin is barely half a meter From him before snapping backward, it flies hard, slamming into the ship's wheel. He had tied the other end of that rope to the wheel before dark, preparing for whatever came. Tonight, but seeing the monster slam into the wooden wheel makes his heart drop. Now he is terrified the wheel itself will snap under the strain. Next time he cannot. He cannot risk tying it there. He makes a quick mental note. A broken wheel means disaster. The hooked creature keeps trying to bounce toward him, but its rope only lets it go 5 meters before yanking it back. Meanwhile, seawater keeps pouring, flowing from its original puncture wound, the flow getting heavier with every frantic struggle. It is like a faucet was installed on its belly and turned on. Its round body deflates visibly, looking exactly like a balloon losing its air. He manages to get up. His crossbow is fully reloaded, barely 6 or 7 meters away from the monster. Taking aim, he taunts the beast. "Come on, you were supposed to be tough." "Come again." He pulls the trigger, landing a bolt into a third opening on its body. From that moment, the giant dolphin becomes his personal target practice. To test his range, he even backs up a few meters to practice. 10 bolts later, the beast is still alive, but more than leaving it half defatted, its legs visible again, looking like a sad, popped balloon. No more bouncing, just a wilting pile of mush about to collapse. Grabbing his spear, he sets the crossbow down and approaches cautiously. The monster still looks up at him with twitching feet, unable to launch, so he commits, driving. Without hesitation, he drives his spear forward. The tip slices through like a leaking water balloon, meeting zero resistance. Gushing water erupts from the new wound when he pulls. As he pulls it back, the monster completely runs out of air. The spray slows to a trickle, then down to drips, just as he wonders if he should finish it. Suddenly the body vanishes, leaving behind chunks of meat, 2 bottles of blood, and a bronze chest. System alerts confirm 5 portions of meteor dolphin meat and 2 of blood. Finally dead, he mutters under his breath before tossing the spear aside and collapsing onto the deck. His physical condition is absolutely terrible. Every single muscle screams as if he is about to fall apart, the pain he suppressed earlier. The pain now surges back at full volume. After lying motionless for what feels like hours, eventually the worst of the agony finally fades. He touches his nose. His hand comes back bloody with no clear memory of when the bleeding actually stopped, leaving dried streaks on his lip. Clawing back some strength, he picks up the meat to read the system description. Meteor dolphin meat, high quality, incredibly delicious when raw, offering excellent texture, but it contains deadly toxin. Prepare to die, poisonous meat. Disgusting, of course. His face twists in disgust. He survived a brutal beating to kill this thing, receiving only poison as his prize. Some stat-boosting meat would have made. It would make sense, but the system handed him a one-way ticket to the afterlife. He curls his lip and checks the blood. The description reads meteor dolphin blood, good quality, containing a deadly toxin that can refine poison. It kills instantly upon contact with any blood. Handle with caution. Not surprising, but where the meat is, this blood is actually quite useful. He can refine medicine with it, or craft hidden weapons, and that deadly warning is absolutely no joke. He pockets both portions, then he finally opens the bronze chest. If he got nothing, that brutal fight would have been completely pointless. The system awards him 3 alloy, 2 electronic components, and hot pot base, plus 1 lamp and 10 deep sea coins. Still, there is no blueprint. He is a bit disappointed. Bronze chests do not guarantee blueprints. His luck is just average today. Luckily, those refrigerator materials are close. Almost everything is ready. The refrigerator blueprint requires specific items. It demands 30 metal sheets, 20 plastic, 10 electronic components, and 3 alloy. He currently has 4 alloy, 10 electronic components, and 8 plastic, plus 4 metal sheets. The rarest items are secured, leaving only basic materials. With only plastic left, he checks his freshwater stockpile to trade. He lists 500 milliliters of water for 8 metal sheets 4 times. He lists 2 trades for 10 plastic. Unbelievably, they sell out instantly. Freshwater is still prime currency. Now he holds 36 sheets and 28 plastic. Every single resource is gathered. He heads straight to the crafting table. Selecting the refrigerator, the materials dissolve as the table begins working. It will take 30 minutes. Since he is not rushing, he checks the chat. The global chat is a complete blur. Everyone is discussing the recent horrors. Almost every player has encountered them, though they are mostly common tier. The vast majority only have simple weapons made directly without any blueprints. They rely entirely on basic spears, stone axes, and common iron axes. Because of this, even common grade horrors cause massive trouble for most players. This has caused two markets to skyrocket: high-quality weapons and medicine. Better weapons mean better survival rates. Killing a beast yields a drop chest. Simply chasing it away gets you nothing, so lethal gear is highly demanded. Healing supplies are just as vital. There are no hospitals on this brutal ocean. Medicine is gold.